can see.
You happy now? A decently long.
There we go. I time to stretch, relax.
You get to relax a little bit.
Play a little trumpet in the background.
Oh, fantastic. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this, whatever you want to call this, film festival, Cinemaniacs, EriDan live party of amazingness.
Yeah, this is the final show.
The series finale. It is.
This is the series finale of whatever this is.
At the end, we're all going to end up in jail or all end up in bed with Suzanne
Plachette. Yes. We have all the different endings possible. We'll do whatever ending it's necessary.
Yes. So you won't believe how it ends.
Yes, you have to stay tuned to see how it ends. It'll be a shocker.
Oh, it will be. Number 5.
You won't believe what we have set up for the next time we do a show, because we don't even know yet.
So it's EriDan Live to join us. EriDanLive.com, I should say, to join us. Be part of the show. Just pop in and say hi. Totally fine too. We've been doing this for almost 5 years. Dan has been doing this for over 5 years.
March 13th was the first show I did, and then slowly it grew. I was by myself. I had no way to bring on guests. And then we added things. Then you and I kind of turned into the EriDan Network. Yeah. We had 7 nights of programming at one point. Every night of the week, we did a show. And Saturday mornings with Rafi.
Yeah.
And it grew and grew. And then it was like,
and then it shrunk and shrunk.
Yeah. We got like we were in the pool. Shrinkage.
Shrinkage. It's all good. But we're here tonight, and that's what's most important.
Yes.
And hopefully people will want to watch and join and be part of tonight as we talk about the final 2 movies. Dan has chosen one. I have chosen one. And we've already got some people lined up to be part of the show, but we have room for up to 10. Am I correct? 8 guests. Is that still the count?
We can do 10 guests total.
Well, I'm counting you and I as being.
Well, yeah, we can have 8 guests. We can have 10 people total in the window.
Okay.
So and
please join us.
As a new thing or an old thing, a new thing, we're streaming on Eric's personal Facebook page for the first time ever.
For the first time in a very long time.
And our one viewer is on the EriDan Show YouTube page.
Nice.
At the moment.
Hello.
So you can see.
Hello.
I was worried we'd have like 300 viewers and I'd be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't end it. But now, 4 minutes in, I'm like, maybe we made the right choice. So we're on my 2 pages.
We'll talk about that.
We're on the EriDan page.
We're on the later.
Eric page. We're on the Car Yada page.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube on my page and the EriDan page, and we're on Twitch.
We're on like 7 different networks that can kick us off at any time.
Yes.
So, and we're planning on how much money are we going to raise tonight, Dan?
Let's look at the board.
All right.
All of it.
All right. Perfect. Let's raise all the money.
Let's bring people in. You play an intro, and I'll bring them in. We'll go old school.
Wow. Okay. Hold on. It's been a long time since I've had to find intros. Here they are. All right, let's go with this one.
I'm sorry, Dave. This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
That's Dave. Yeah.
And yet we never watched 2001: A Space Odyssey.
We never did?
No.
I thought we did.
You always think we did, Dan.
Wow. That's so weird.
And Wait, Dave has been here since the beginning. Dave was actually jokingly responsible for the first movie we watched.
Yes. The film festival. There's 2 people that have been on almost every show.
That's correct.
I didn't really start joining right away. It was at least a month or 2.
Yeah, I remember.
But you commented about VHF or UHF.
No, actually no. He was the one that commented about Howard the Duck.
Yeah, he talked about Howard the Duck. That's right.
That is true.
Sorry, it was more of a dare.
That we're my mind doesn't stretch all the way back to 2020.
Right.
It is a fog, it's
And our next guy's been on almost every episode. I think he missed one time. which means he's been on more than me.
And was that the time you gave out the cash prizes?
That was.
Yeah.
It's true. So sad. So sad.
So here's his intro.
All right.
In the beginning, there was
You will never appreciate how long it took me to find a good hair font.
Adam, we call him the king of backlighting.
Oh,
He's very good at having the lights behind him.
we got to see his face.
We can see his face. We can see his face.
Yeah.
What hotel chain are you at this week?
I'm at some place called Sleep Inn. I'm in Charleston, West Virginia.
Wow.
I think Sleep Inn is part of the Comfort Inn line.
You're not too far away from the Pennsylvania people.
Sleep Inn, that's the place that won't do a wake-up call?
Yes. Well, they do it. They just do it really late.
As they should.
All right, let's see. Let's try to keep the order right. I think Amanda or this might be a tie, but we'll go Amanda now.
Oh my goodness, that's an oldie.
It is an oldie. A little pixelated.
Yeah. So that's how you really mark progress.
Yeah, seriously.
That was before HD.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Of course, we say we have friends and family, and this is part of the family. Eric's niece, Buddy Young, which apparently he's Asian in this particular version.
That's what was on the marquee.
Oh, I know. Enjoy the egg rolls. Obviously, the father-daughter team of Dave and Amanda.
It's true.
And then this next guy is connected because Stacy and Wade would be on, and their daughter Reagan would be on, and her friend Cody was on. Then his sister Brittany was on, and then their family friend Brian was on.
Beautiful.
Oh my goodness. Brian.
And there's Brian.
Hey, I had a lot of degrees of separation there.
I know. You're like one more
Brian's
than...
more connected to Kevin Bacon than to
Yeah. Right.
Now, before we bring in Scott, we have another person just popped in we haven't seen in forever.
I know.
And this is exciting, and we don't. This was never a regular, but on this movie thing, but a regular on the other shows,
on the original, on
all the
original
other shows,
yeah.
the game shows sometimes, and just talking about stuff. So I guess we play a generic one.
I guess she's just our next guest.
Rhonda Russell.
Rhonda Russell, yay! Woo!
How is everybody?
Great.
How are you?
Hanging out in Las Vegas this week.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, put some money on 72. No, that's not a number. 26.
I have not gambled 1 minute since I've been here in 9 days. I forget how many days.
Hold
You're a smart lady.
I'm about to bet how much, what the odds are that you gamble at least once. Probably in the airport on your way out of town.
Well,
Nope.
she went there. That was the gamble.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, well, and I was here with Sally Wurst for a couple of days last
Oh
week.
wow,
so-
another class of 88er.
Yep. So they left. They went back to Pennsylvania, and I'm still here until Friday.
Isn't it weird? We had kids in class named last name Worst, kids in class last name Best.
We had the best and the worst.
The best and the worst.
Not necessarily in that order.
Well, the
Not
Pirates used to have
necessarily.
pitchers named Walk and Win, so
Yeah, Bob Walk.
Yeah.
All right, and then our next guest for this evening's finale, I've known longer than anyone else on here, but the director and editor of the sitcom pilot and an award-winning director and editor of the sitcom pilot, we can now say. You can play the intro.
That's Scott? Yes, it's Scott.
Hello, Scott.
It's Scott. As a baby, he'll grow. Bring Scott back.
What? I see this as an absolute win.
It's Scott.
What's up?
What up?
Man.
My goodness, what a magical
What a
evening.
party.
It's already a magical evening.
Somebody finally saved the best for last. Thank you. I appreciate you.
It's not just.
Also, who's coming?
Available.
There's more
coming?
people.
Oh man,
We have 2 spots left.
I'm officially mid. This is great.
That's a good call.
I got this in the mail just a couple of days ago.
Whoa.
What is that?
45-year reunion invitation.
Oh my goodness! I have to tell my sister does. That's class of '80, right?
Class of '80.
Oh my sister.
It's in August.
They couldn't find her. She's like, she lived in the same place for like 30 years.
Well, if you want to send me her address, I will forward it along.
I will message her and ask if she received it. Maybe she already did.
Cool.
I'm gonna toss it right
What
in.
day? Wait, when is that in August? Because the
August 15th and 16th.
a little too early. Because the end of August there might be a film festival in Pittsburgh that the sitcom might. Be.
Oh,
fancy.
Just throw that out there.
You never know.
Speaking of films,
we should probably talk about a movie or two.
Yes. Which movie do we want to do first, Eric? Your call.
If my call, I said we start with your movie.
All right.
We'll go chronologically. We'll go all the way back to 1993.
1992.
1992.
It was 1992, and I know this very well for a reason.
Billy Crystal, David Paymer, Helen Hunt.
You didn't make a graphic?
I did not.
Wow.
I had great intentions.
Nice throwback.
What might have happened? There it is.
Go.
Who needs graphics? Look at that. It's Mr. Saturday Night. It's Lonely in the Middle. Or at the middle. And that's one of the original press packages.
This is the original press packet. Here are the original tickets to the premiere.
Oh, wow.
From my good friend Bruce McBroom, who was the photographer.
Here's the original roll they used in the restaurant.
Yes, here's the original penis roll. All the photographs I have.
Wow. Fancy.
And whether you like the movie or not, I don't care.
Wow.
The reason
Is that part of the press packet?
Oh, wait.
It is. That's their tagline.
I also got the hat.
Oh, look at this.
I've met Star Wars fans with less gear than you have for this movie.
And I have this is an original movie prop.
Nice. That's cool.
Oh, all right. That's the one.
And
You
signed
gotta
by.
get that hung. You got to get that framed and hung.
But it's I'm his second favorite comedian. But it's
It makes me nervous that you don't have that framed.
hung.
That is a piece of Hollywood memorabilia.
I know. And I might have to give it back to Billy Crystal because his house burned down.
That should be hanging up in a corner of Planet Hollywood somewhere, being ignored.
If there is a Planet Hollywood. Yeah.
So Dan, why Mr. Saturday Night? Why your closing movie for us to discuss?
I've wanted to pick this movie probably 5 or 6 different times, and it's never been streaming.
That's true.
And now it is. And then Eric, of course, found a way for other people to watch it. Shh. And through a friend of a friend of a friend.
Perplexed. Okay.
But it also, Eric and I went to the Funny Bone Comedy Club in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the first time to do stand-up on September 11th, ironically, 1992. And we bombed. No, we didn't bomb. This movie came out 2 weeks later, and it's all about stand-up comedy and a guy's whole career. And I just don't want to end up in nursing homes. That's my message from the movie. And as my mom said,
this is not Dan's career path goal.
No.
So where are you on this arc, Dan?
This movie is not intended to parallel Dan's life.
No.
I'm at about an hour and 12 minutes in. I'm getting there.
And there are problems with the movie. There are problems. I mean, it's Billy Crystal wrote it and directed it, which is usually a great thing. And it was a Broadway show for a while. But also, like, how old was the mom? She was 91, and these guys are playing like they're 80. Like, what was she 11 when she had them? I thought that was kind of awkward.
Maybe she was a little older.
But when they show her when they're younger, she's already old with the flappy arms. So I'm thinking they're like our age, Eric. That's what's scary. They're like in their 50s.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, that wasn't the biggest problem. And I get it. That's a minor thing, though. My biggest problem with the movie, and I like the movie overall, but my biggest problem with it is that Buddy Young is so unlikable.
Yeah.
He's a comedian. Yeah. They all are.
That's not true.
If it had ended half an hour or maybe 45 minutes earlier, I would have actually liked it.
It was too long.
Like I wrote down that at about like a minute 15, I had to pause the movie just because his voice was getting so grating and just the constant obnoxious jokes and him just never improving. And like hour 40, he still hadn't improved yet. It was just.
Well, I think that's where, to Dan's point about usually a writer-director is a good thing. Writer-director stars, however, can get in their own way because they're not always their best critics or their best editors because they're too close to the material. Well, and I think that Billy Crystal's done this a couple of times. I think My Giant is another example where he had a tremendous emotional attachment to the material, and it worked to the material's deficit.
Yeah.
One of the reviews I read about it was that you couldn't decide if Billy Crystal wanted you to love or hate Buddy Young Jr., right? Is that it just flip-flops because he keeps doing things that make you dislike him and they keep trying to make him redeemable. And it's like, well, what is it? Am I supposed to be upset with him because he is where he's at because of who he was? Or was he just always in his own way and, lovable because of that? Like, it's hard to know where you're supposed to feel about Buddy Young.
Right. Yeah. But before we go there, my mom just texted me. See what I did there? We have some other guests to join us real quick.
Oh my goodness.
And it looks like they're in the same hotel room as Adam somehow.
Live from the Days Inn and
half of Stacy. There we go. That's better.
They are in the sleep in.
Am I right? They're in the dark green room. Adam's in the light green room.
Yeah. We are at the Harrisburg Hilton on the 11th floor.
On a Hilton? A Hilton?
A Hilton.
Oh, there you
Can
go.
you hear us?
Back in boom, if you know what I mean.
It came in and out.
Who's playing in the lounge tonight?
Buddy Young Sr.
Yeah.
I don't think Buddy's down there.
No.
So
It's a community college thing.
as Scott and I learned, going back to the sitcom for a minute, you have to edit and you have to kill your babies, as they say.
Yes,
and there are scenes that you just love that you're like, it's got to go, and you have to figure it out. And Billy Crystal did not do that with this movie. If this was an 87 to 90-minute movie, it would have probably been a lot more popular.
Just the scene with Ron Silver in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Was a funny scene that went on twice as long as it should have, easily.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that could have been tight. And even when he did the whole audition, that could have been tighter. There's a lot that could have been tighter.
Yeah, we're kind of in like the end of like this period where writer, director, comedians like Woody Allen, they're kind of like, they've had so much of an impact on the industry that when you got a chance to do like a passion project like this, they went on because it wasn't about the story, it was about the feeling, it was about the environment. And it's the reason why you had so many freaking 3-hour movies that won Best Picture in the 80s.
Well, to me, it doesn't surprise me that David Paymer was nominated for an Oscar as supporting actor. He was excellent in this. He was but not an Oscar, but Billy Crystal was nominated for an American Comedy Award as funniest actor in a motion picture. He didn't win, but he was nominated. How many nominees did they have that year? 50?
How bad was that year? I feel like maybe they just
92. I mean, he was the host of the Oscars.
Well, it wasn't an Oscar. It was an American Comedy Award, which no longer exists.
Right. Well, it was also kind of like the Academy is mainly made of actors. If you're trying to win something, you want to do a movie that's centered around acting. And I feel like he just wanted to get as much freaking stuff in there as possible to make that happen.
Well, I also feel, comedians are self-saboteurs.
Yes, we are.
A lot of that happens. You're a comedian now? Good. A lot of that happens. You're a comedian now. I should have said more sarcastic. Oh, you're a comedian now.
Better late than never.
Like in Watchmen?
But it is true. There are a ton of, I've been accused of it too. That,
not being a comedian?
No, of being self-sabotaging because there's a fear of success. It's more than a fear of failure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing with, that's why he was so unlikable to me. It wasn't that he was nasty. I can deal with that. There are people that have an acerbic personality. You deal with it. They can still be good people.
Yeah, Brian.
Every time anything went wrong, he always blamed
Brian's the opposite.
else.
Yes.
It was always somebody else's fault.
Yeah.
Somebody who didn't deserve it. And since those people were much nicer people than he was, it made you definitely dislike him.
Yeah.
And it was a whole hour and a half into the movie where he was begging his brother not to go back to Florida because he needed him. And like clearly he hasn't learned anything in the hour and a half of the movie so far.
Yeah, I'm like, have you not read the script? You sucked me back in. Yes.
Oh, when he attacks him on the stairs, though, that is such a great moment.
Oh, the fight scene?
Yes, it's awesome. I missed it.
You know,
Slurping the soup, and he's like, "Oh my God, we're orphans."
this kind of has a lot in common with Raging Bull, actually. Now that I think about it.
Okay.
Guy at the top of his game, and he loses everything bit by bit because he's totally full of himself, and eventually gets himself into a corner, and he spends the rest of it.
The difference here is he hasn't lost everything. That's the sad part.
Yeah,
he's
that was
an
my
old man
problem.
with a wife who still loves him,
right?
A roof over his head. Yes, he never achieved the level of fame that he wanted.
Right.
But
he had a network TV show.
He had so much.
The fact that when he went to that agent, like he didn't just completely blow him off. I thought when he was like pretending about like, oh, that person told me they were just thinking about you. He's like, oh, who? It's like, oh, you know, someone. I was like, oh, he's not going to go along with it. But no, he like sent somebody to actually find him gigs. Like, not.
And Helen Hunt was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was right about Mad. This is pre-Mad About You.
Yeah.
It was around.
Probably, yeah.
This was also pre As Good as It Gets, where she won her Oscar, right?
Right.
Yes.
Same year as Sleepless in Seattle.
Also pre-Time Cop for Ron Silver.
I think this is our second David Paymer movie, though.
We did City Slickers, though.
So
because we did do The In-Laws, and he's in that.
Ah, that's right.
Stacey has something to say. We haven't heard from them in forever. Stacey and the way the Riders.
The Riders. So did you guys talk about makeup?
No.
Oh my God.
Some of the aging stuff, especially on his wife, I feel was a little rough.
Yeah. The beginning of the movie especially, it was really bad. Because for some reason I was thinking that this was a current movie, even though I had seen it before in 1992. And so I'm looking at the makeup, and Bill Crystal's lipstick or lip darkener. It really reminded me of the funeral home on Black Hawk Road. So, just saying.
So Billy Crystal looked like an open casket.
He did. Both of them did. It was. I thought it was pretty. It seemed to mellow out a little bit later.
He also felt like he was playing Miracle Max for a good part of this.
He did look like him, didn't he?
Yeah, there's a little of that.
Oh, it was bad.
Honestly, though, if you look at Joan Rivers' surgery, it was pretty close.
So, yeah.
Now they did do a Broadway show version of this,
and that was just a few years ago, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
It ran 24 previews and I think 116 nights. So it wasn't a failure by any means, but it's not still playing.
Coming soon to BPA.
But like I said, Bruce, I know if it becomes available, I will be fighting for that to become a show. But Bruce McBroom, my friend that was the photographer on this, they approached him for the Broadway show. They said, "Hey,
wait, I have to interrupt. This name drop is sponsored in part by EriDan Film Festival University, corrupting young minds since 1983. We are FU." Please continue now. Now you can continue your story about your semi-famous friend. No, I'm kidding.
Rick Springfield.
I just talked to him today, actually, but that's a whole other story. The Broadway show, the producer reached out to him and said, "Hey, we want to use a bunch of still photos from the film. Can we buy the rights from you?" And he said, "Well, I mean, considering I don't own them, of course." He's a hired gun, and they're like, "Well, your name's on all the pictures, so even though the studio technically owns them, your name's on them." So they didn't properly copyright them or something. So he got a big fat check for the pictures to be on Broadway.
That's fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And he's bought out the EriDan merch store, just so you know. He had that big check, and he bought every piece of merch we had
I
left.
wonder why he's always wearing that FU shirt.
So you can get this if you want the Disco Jew album cover.
That's hilarious.
I mean, I kind of prefer Pimento U from the old Looney Tunes cartoon.
I didn't ask him if he has the movie he took the picture for the movie poster, which is
wow.
And I didn't ask him if he has that because he is moving and he's getting rid of a lot of his stuff. So I will find out if he has that. And if so, it'll go back here as the final movie.
Wow.
Well, no, actually, it's not the next to the final.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
It's tough.
I mean, honestly, this movie is kind of a tragedy in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like it is. I feel like when we watched it when we were 22, we were very focused on the humor of it and the real, and the relationship between the brothers. And yeah, it was, it was just more, we were very focused on the comedy. I feel like watching it at this point in life, it becomes a lot more dramatic and a lot more a sadder story.
The one time in the whole film that I really liked him was when he was doing his mother's funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Because that was heartfelt and that felt real, and it didn't go on too long, and it had the right tone. And if the rest of the movie had that level of quality, it would have been a much better film.
Right. I agree.
It also felt like the ending. On the one hand, the picture was very sweet because I like all the flashbacks to them as kids were great throughout the movie. So like that was nice.
Oh, and the actors who were the kids were great.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah. But like it felt like so. He had been very mean to his brother. He seemed like maybe he had kind of understood, and then he just like insulted him some more. And so his brother stormed off. But then it was the brother who had to come and be the one doing the reconciliation. Yeah. Why didn't he have him like reaching out to his brother to apologize?
That's the way it is in a lot of relationships. Unfortunately, there's one person who always needs forgiving, and the other person who is always doing the forgiving.
Yeah, and like on the one hand, it's realistic. On the other hand, it doesn't make him likable even at the end of the movie.
It also wasn't exactly a surprise. I turned to Margaret and went, it's got to be a painting of him performing for his mother, right?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is this movie better than Man on the Moon?
No.
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 Is it a better movie? No. Do I like it more?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
I definitely do.
It's yeah. I mean, if somebody said these two movies are on, and I can only choose one, I would watch this over Man on the Moon. But I love Man on the Moon.
It doesn't have an REM song though.
Yes, I love the song too. Isn't Mr. Saturday? Isn't there a song? No, that's Piano Man.
SATURDAY night.
Yeah, and I almost picked Saturday Night, the movie about Saturday Night Live, because I also love that movie.
It's a great movie, but I'm not sure you're going to love that movie as much in 30 years from now.
Yeah, this movie is on my top 10 forever.
Yeah. And my wife absolutely hated it, but I loved it, and I still love it. So,
well, that's good that we're ending the EriDan Film Festival, Cinemaniacs, whatever the hell this is called, on two movies that we both love.
It's very true. So should we find out what everybody else thinks?
Anybody else have anything else to say, or do we
want
want
to
thumbs up?
You want to do a thumbs up, thumbs down? Anybody want to share their thoughts on
Oh, we're not gonna have everybody give this to
many people here.
You guys can say things. We don't. Oh, you want your old school ranking?
Oh God!
Oh no!
Rhonda, Rhonda's here. Rhonda's been here forever. Rhonda, have you ever seen Mr. Saturday Night with Billy Crystal?
I have not seen either one of them.
Oh, geez, Rhonda, come on.
She's just here for us.
So which one do you like better?
As she should be.
If you knew my schedule right now, you'd understand why I wouldn't have time to see anything.
That's fair.
Very true.
But
I am going to drop off because I've got to be somewhere within the hour. So I just wanted to pop in and say hi real quick.
Oh, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Absolutely.
You as well.
Thank you so much. Have safe travels.
Yes,
take care.
Enjoy Vegas.
Thanks, Rhonda.
Take in a show if you have a moment.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
My mom did like the movie, but she did find it sad. It is a sad.
It is sad.
And
purposely so.
In a way, it makes me, from a comedy standpoint or comedian standpoint, it's kind of like learn a lesson from this. Be humble and don't burn bridges.
But I didn't feel sad for Buddy Young at all. I felt sad for his brother, and I felt sad for his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She never learned how to do a double take properly.
No, that was terrible.
That was horrible.
To be fair, he must be a terrible teacher, given that how much contempt he had for her.
And I didn't really even feel bad for his wife because she went in with her eyes wide open. I mean, she was sitting there saying, "Does your brother bring you a girl every night?" You know, she knew what she was getting into, and she still loved him, so she wasn't sad. But the daughter obviously had a terrible life, and the brother
he blamed her
for his whole career.
He blamed her.
Yes.
Yeah. And there are two other things from the movie. I mean, I remember Eric and I, before we would go on, when we were still EriDan, when we were a comedy team, we would do the hurt them. Blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
Eric probably doesn't remember that, but we definitely did that multiple times.
It's possible.
Yeah. And also the thing.
If you had had Pee Wee Herman as your comedy inspiration, it would have been a very different act.
And then also I've said that before, the thing about when you're talking about, sometimes it's just every line just comes out perfectly. It's like a prize fighter. It's like, boom, you hit him there, you hit him, and the audience is with you. I mean, it's a magical moment that doesn't happen every time. And when it does, it's magic.
Bill Burr has talked about that a few times on interviews I've seen with him too. Yeah.
Except he says it with a Boston accent and more attitude.
Yeah, definitely a bit more of a funny.
All right,
I don't care.
Let's get our thumbs up or thumbs down for this movie. Who would either recommend or rewatch or did enjoy their experience of watching this movie?
No.
You see what I did there?
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk. Hold on, that's our worst. I expected that. Brian,
if it were a half hour shorter, I would have very possibly been a thumbs up.
Okay, well,
why?
Turn it off earlier next time.
Because they ended on a terrible though. You wanted to end there.
It's one of those few movies
Scott,
where the director's cut is shorter.
Well, that is the director's cut. Can we take this movie and cut it? Do our own cut?
Edit thing?
That would be a fun. That's the new show. It's called. We have a new show called the Circumcised Movie Show.
And you're doing the circumcising with a non-Jew? That's what you're doing?
We cut 20% off every film. So Brian, why did you give it a thumbs down?
I was having a hard time. Like the jokes weren't hitting for me, I guess, until the end. Some of the jokes at the end hit for me, but in the beginning they didn't. And like I was just mad at the guy the whole time. I was like, you don't understand what you have. Like have my life, bro. And yeah, so I was just mad at him. That's why I don't.
Fair enough.
Brian related too much to the main character. It's a common thing.
Well, like
I do that. I try to relate to the characters.
Yeah.
What?
Anyways.
Dan wants everybody to answer for their thumbs down. No,
I'm good.
All right. Any other final comments on?
I think Wayne's trying to say something.
I think Wade's
Wi-Fi. I can't hear it though.
Wade's Wi-Fi is not good for streaming.
Yeah, we get like every other word.
Yeah. That wasn't important.
Oh, we heard the important.
I think he only listens to every other word he says anyway. So
Wayne needs a new voice box.
All right, let's move on to the commercially successful movie.
I do agree with
that did not win any Oscars or get nominated for any.
The Ed Sullivan Show sequence was funny. That was good.
That was good.
That was a great idea. Yeah, the
it was
idea of being
a
on after
movie.
the Beatles was amazing.
It was a movie. That's why I gave it a mild thumbs up. It is a movie that had enough really good scenes that I liked it, but it's also very frustrating because you got a hint of what it could have been if it had been better done.
I like how we're trying to make Dan feel better, but we still keep going. But it was bad.
Well, no, I agree. This is not like Somewhere in Time. Everything you guys have said is completely 100% true, and I agree with it. But even with all its faults, I still love the movie.
Dan, I like it too. I gave it a thumbs up.
Manly, yes. but I like it too.
And Adam just doesn't. Adam just doesn't like Billy Crystal.
I mean, it wasn't.
I didn't hate the movie. I would never watch it again. It wasn't like it was the worst movie ever. I mean, I thought David Paymer was good in it, but I just don't like Billy Crystal.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't watch Schindler's List again, but I'd still give it a thumbs up.
Well, here's what I would say for that. If it was a 30-minute TV episode, this would have been a fantastic short film.
Yeah.
It was too long. I agree with everybody on that.
I still love it. I wouldn't change a thing.
I wouldn't change it, but I'm just saying I think you all would like it more if it was shorter.
I said this in chat with Amanda yesterday. It's nobody's fault, but one of the problems with this movie is Billy Crystal is always Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
More so than some people we've said that about. I mean, you hear Mike Wazowski, or you hear Miracle Max, or you hear, because he always has that same sound to his voice, that same delivery, that same rat-a-tat-tat, and it takes you out of the movie at times because you're hearing Billy Crystal, not Buddy Young.
Well, it's Robin Williams' disease.
Yeah.
He had exactly the same problem. That's why he couldn't be in Harry Potter.
But Robin Williams was able to suppress it a few times.
He grew up.
I don't think I've ever seen a Billy Crystal role where he was ever really. He was able at times to keep it enough in control, like when Harry Met Sally, that it was a very good movie. But he's more of a stand-up than he is an actor.
Well, yeah, he doesn't try to be vulnerable.
Yeah. All right.
That's fair. All right. And the next conversation.
And now the final film ever.
Maybe not ever. Maybe
okay, the final film for this version.
For tonight at least. For the foreseeable future. 2012's The Avengers. The Avengers, they're more than one. Obviously I picked this movie. I'm a huge Marvel fan, and we've only ever saw and talked about Iron Man up to this point. And that's a tragedy. So I had envisioned someday we'd watch all 24 movies all the way through Endgame, but that did not happen. So now we are ready to talk seriously about the Avengers.
But first,
oh my goodness,
we have another guest.
Is it even possible? Is it even? Hold on, wait, I gotta find the button. There's the button. All right, I'm ready. Here we go.
One ring to the moon. One ring.
It's Brittany.
Ready!
I remember the first time you showed that intro, Eric, before you edited it.
Yes.
Yeah, I was kind of, when I played it just now, I'm like, oh, I kind of wish I had the other version.
So Brittany's at work, and so she looks like she can't talk, but she's just here. That's good.
We will not get Brittany fired tonight.
It keeps the Hollywood squares, which is good.
It should be our last. It should be our last. Or not Brittany.
She's just playing Galaga.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could be.
I mean, the Avengers. Come on. I have seen this movie at a minimum 72 times.
I've probably seen it 3 times.
Yeah, it's about me too.
I can't even count how many times I've seen this movie. There's so many wonderful beats. I'm not saying it's perfect. It's a great action popcorn flick for what it is. I think it's absolutely wonderful and practically perfect. But I recognize that there are things you can criticize and not love. But I think the way that they introduce these characters, the way they bring them in through the movie, the way they were to go back in time where there were only 5, maybe 6 movies leading up to this, it just unfolds very beautifully. I can't say enough good things about this movie.
Well, and this movie makes me worried for the new Avengers movie. Just because there's the right number of Avengers in this movie.
Yes.
They get enough screen time without being, even minor Avengers, quote unquote, have plenty of screen time.
Yes.
And you get to know them enough, even if you haven't seen the feeder films, to at least enjoy it. This new one is going to be such a just such a parade of Avengers.
Yeah, unfortunately, watching this makes you realize how far Marvel has gotten from the formula of what really works. Because this really works. I mean, and we're only and at the time the Avengers movie came out, we were only 3 years from when the first Iron Man movie came out. And we had 2 Iron Man movies plus Captain America plus Thor. right? And
Plus
even
Hulk, kinda.
and Hulk, kind of, right? And so you're in a tight time span where you are connected to these characters through movies just the last 3 years. Even this next Thunderbolts movie wants you to have sentimental feelings about characters that were introduced in movies 5 years ago that we haven't seen since, and we didn't like those movies. And so, yeah, I feel like Marvel is definitely not where they were, but when they made this movie, and love Joss Whedon or not, this movie just hits on all the right notes.
Yes.
It does make it does make you lament for sort of the loss of the talent that is Joss Whedon, because anytime, whether you're talking about Kevin Spacey or you're talking about Joss Whedon, these talented people with massive character flaws,
yes,
that ultimately self-sabotage to the degree that they're not working anymore, at least not in the capacity that they were most creative.
Yes.
I think the biggest problem with this movie, and it's actually one of the reasons why I'm starting to realize it's not as good as everyone always says it is that it relies on you.
God, I can't hear you. No, I'm good. I got you.
Yeah.
What?
Sure.
I'm interested. I'm listening.
It relies on you to see some pretty above average movies in order to watch it and to enjoy it.
I don't think that's true. I saw this movie for the first time like 10 years ago. I haven't seen this movie for like 10 years. I have not rewatched any of the other movies since they came out for the first time. I had no recollection about like what they were talking about having read in her ledger. Like I had no idea what that meant. It didn't affect my judgment of the movie at all.
You
like,
have no idea where the Tesseract came from.
Yeah, I didn't remember at all where the Tesseract came from. It was just a magical, scary thing, and Loki came through it. I remembered who Loki was at least. I think they do a good enough job at introducing everything that I think it holds up without having that context. And I think that's becoming less true of newer Marvel movies, but I think that's actually surprisingly true of this one.
I agree with that. Why? Can you hear me?
A little bit.
Kind of. Can you
You
move
sound like
closer?
a bit of a low talker.
Oh, you know what it is? So, I forgot that Pepper. No.
You forgot the Pepper.
You forgot the Pepper.
You forgot the Pepper.
Pepper and,
Tony.
Yeah, they got together in the second Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
I didn't remember.
Yeah.
I thought this was first.
Yeah, me neither.
The second one was the Mickey Rourke.
But even if you didn't know who those characters were, you were introduced to them, and it's like, oh, they're a couple. Okay.
Yeah, it was very clear what the relationship was, and it was fine.
Yeah. No, I don't think that this movie does require to watch all the 4 or 5 movies before it. I think there are too many movies now in the Marvel universe that do rely on that. Like you want to watch Doctor Strange in the Universe of Madness or whatever it's called, the Multiverse of Madness. You absolutely have to be aware of all the Doctor Strange movies, of the entire WandaVision series, or none
Loki
of it.
season 1 of yes.
So here's the thing. Before everyone started talking about what I was going to say was, I didn't say it was a bad movie because of that. I said that it only becomes a great movie if you've seen the other movies. By itself, it's above average. It's good. But the hits only hits if you know what Tony went through, what Cap went through, what ScarJo doesn't matter. Hulk doesn't really matter. Hulk doesn't really matter either. But
I didn't remember anything about like what happened in the first Iron Man, and it was still like I remember liking the movie. I've been very burnt on Marvel and haven't watched a new Marvel movie for I think 5 years, like or any of the TV series. I just don't care about it anymore. But like I've enjoyed this movie way more than I remembered, and it was like actually like consistently amazing. And I had it was a wonderful movie, and I'm like, oh, this is way better than I remembered.
I will agree with Scott to a degree though, because I do think you enjoy it more if you know the backstories. It's sort of like I've had the discussion with multiple people about, because there's a lot of people who say Toy Story 2 is a better movie than Toy Story. And I disagree, because I say Toy Story 2 had a shortcut because you knew who the characters were.
Yeah.
And Toy Story 1 did a great job of establishing who those characters were. And so to me, it's a better movie.
And Brittany says almost the same thing. I agree with Scott on that. It's a good standalone movie for sure, but definitely better when you have the backstory.
I will say, I think it's above average still if you don't know the backstory.
Yes.
I think it's still a great movie.
It is.
I said.
Well, I think it's still a great movie without the backstories. I think it's still an amazing movie. I don't think it's just a good movie. I think it's still like great without the backstories.
Well, and they do, and again, this is where I think I worry about the future of the Avengers. Not only did they give the characters time, each of the characters had a critical role to play.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't do it without Thor. You couldn't do it without the Hulk. You couldn't. I mean, they each had their place that was necessary in the plot. Which there are so many characters. There's going to be completely superfluous characters in the next Avengers movie, without question.
So this one has much better writing.
Yes. Probably will. I haven't seen it yet. The new one's not out.
Yeah.
I
expect it by now. Yeah.
It's pretty good at ChatGPT too, so you know, it has that going for it.
Well, I mean, if you look at a lot of products that come out today, whether it's Marvel or Star Wars or any of the Disney remakes, like they rely so heavily on you knowing something about what is the reason for this thing existing. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, like it's actually become like the crutch. If you watch any single one of those properties, they are depending on you knowing the lore. And I can agree with Amanda to a good point, because I think out of all the Marvel like team up movies, this is probably the best one. I think that Captain America Civil War for me is kind of a bit higher, just because you do have a really solid ending that is much more kind of like character.
My problem with Captain America Civil War is it lost the humor.
Well, yeah, it was super serious, and they had to, because they had to do the breakup in every 80s movie before they get back together for the Thanos.
No, I do love Civil War. The reason I didn't choose Civil War was because I don't think it stands on its own as well as this movie does. I think by that point, you really do need to have a pretty good idea who everybody is. And I wanted to do something that was pretty not too far into the franchise.
And to Scott's point, too, there are certain franchises that are like that. I mean, you can't go. There are very few people who can go into a Spider-Man movie without some preconceived idea of Spider-Man or Batman or Superman or these iconic, even the Lone Ranger or something like that. There's some preconceived idea of, yeah, that's the guy who rides the horse with the Indian sidekick, right? You know, so
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, Johnny Depp. Yeah, exactly. So it's you can't escape from that, which is why when Disney / Marvel was at their best under the Feige regime, when they were pulling things out of nowhere, like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
When you had no idea, most people had no idea who these people were. And yet they made an incredibly successful film out of it that resonated with people. And that's when they were firing on all cylinders, man. That was
100%.
That was quite an era. That never so years was just magic for a while.
Where they're trying to stay unique and do their own thing. And that's why Guardians basically set the tone for what Marvel humor and pop culture references were going to be for like the next 4 or 5 years, until you have Black Panther get nominated for Best Picture. And everyone's like, okay, every single Marvel property now has to be Black Panther. We need to have a message. We need to go over something super political and have our hero not be like their own individual clone of Tony Stark, but actually represent some sort of greater, bigger issue, so that we can elevate things from a 9 to a 10. It's heartbreaking for me.
That isn't.
I like though that every character kind of gets their moment to shine in the movie. But saying that, I do kind of think, like, I love the movie, don't get me wrong, but I do kind of think it's almost kind of like it's, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, and then Hulk, Hulk, Black Widow, and Hawkeye are kind of like, just kind of like supporting kind of characters. But I mean, I think Ruffalo as Hulk is great. I mean, I wish he would get his own standalone movie, but like the line when he was like, "We need you to get angry," and he's like, "I'm always angry,"
that was so good. When the first time you saw that was amazing.
Or when he's the Hulk and he's smashing Loki and he goes, "Puny God."
Yeah. Well, especially since that's the first words he'd said in the movie.
Yeah, but I mean, I do think it almost kind of. It's funny. It almost kind of reminded me like a Star Trek kind of movie where it's Kirk, Spock, and Bones, and then you got the supporting cast. You know, it's
and the rest.
Wait a minute. Speaking of and the rest, Eric, get the intro button ready.
Oh my goodness.
We have another guest popping in.
What is happening here? This is crazy. Could it be Cody?
Commander Cody.
The lost wiki.
Amazing. Hey, we have the link to Brian almost all here.
All we need is Kevin Bacon or Reagan.
Either one of those.
What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wow.
We have 11 people, but 10 squares. We've maxed out on our
game.
It's the end
See,
game.
we do it this way.
It is on your left. On your left.
Cody, did we see this in theaters?
Probably.
Yeah, I think we went to theaters and saw this together.
You're only 3.
That's 3 is crazy.
Homegrown movie.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm pretty sure this might have been the first
2012.
movie we ever watched together.
And then did you go out and have some shawarma?
I've still never had shawarma.
This is the
I have
first
a funny.
I don't even know what it is.
I have a funny name drop story for shawarma. So a friend of ours, our sons are friends. They went to the same little school together in Santa Monica. Chris Yost, who wrote two of the Thor movies, they filmed, and he was part of filming that shawarma scene. That was after one of the award shows that they were all happened to be in town at the same time. So they all threw their costumes on and they went and sat and had shawarma for that final post-credit scene. That was done way after the movie was done.
Yeah.
That's crazy. This name drop is sponsored in part by Celebrity Crotch Scented Candles. Get one for your room for a night that goes boom. Now available in Kevin James scent.
That always makes me laugh, that Kevin James face.
I've never seen that one.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to play them all tonight.
Oh, my God. That's why you picked this movie, because she's freaking in it.
That's right. That's why I'm like, oh, there's Gwyneth Paltrow right there. What a perfect tie-in.
What does Tony Stark smell like? I got a candle for that.
Amazing.
No, that suit gets a little gamey.
We have a gold bond.
Did anyone, when they first saw this and they saw the Thanos cameo at the end, did anyone like kind of geek out? I mean, I geeked out when I first saw it. I'm like, holy shit, that's Thanos. You know?
I geeked out more when I saw the Infinity Gauntlet than Thanos, honestly.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like, oh shit, it looks like shit.
I actually texted Chris Yost right after we left the theater. I go, okay, who the hell was that at the end? Because he knows everything about Marvel. He goes, that's Thanos and blah 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 in the next film, blah blah blah. So,
see, I knew I was reading comics in the 70s, and the Avengers was one of my favorite comics. So, the Avengers always struggled, though, which is one thing this movie avoids, with the power gap problem, which is you've got the Hulk and Thor, who are basically invulnerable. Just a notch below them, you've got Iron Man with all of his gadgets. Then you've got Captain America. You know, he's like stronger than your average guy. And then you've got Black Widow. He does flips. And you've got Hawkeye. He shoots arrows. And, you know, they would have them fighting cosmic villains like Thanos. And what in the world is Hawkeye and the Black Widow going to do against Thanos?
Oh, no, Dave, you forgot their fearless leader, Samuel L. Jackson with one eye.
Yes, Nick Fury. Well, Nick had one thing going for him, though, a massive budget. So,
yes. And Nick Fury does come off as quite the amazing character.
He has the best line in the movie.
He is not playing straight with anybody.
Yeah.
He is out to do what he deems as what's the most important thing to do, and he doesn't care who he has to lie to or conceal from to do it.
See, and to me, this movie, watching this movie again, after watching the I even forget the Secret Invasion TV series.
Yeah.
It's so sad with how far they've taken, in what direction they've taken Nick Fury's character. And also, I mean, I think the way, all right, we're going to get into tons of spoiler characters tonight. But the way that they deal with Phil Coulson's death in this movie is so respectful. Even if you hadn't been aware from him of the other movies, you obviously had come to really care about what happens to him. The fact that he dies.
He went to Tahiti.
So
yeah, literally.
So I've
It's a
never,
magical place.
so someone can fill me on this. I've never seen the show. So is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after Avengers or before
Yes,
Avengers?
it's after Avengers.
How the hell has he come back alive?
That's a long story, and it's not
Wait,
canon.
he's alive?
He goes to Tahiti.
What?
I'm not kidding.
That's very good.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. So when they released Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the TV series, it was meant to be canon.
Correct.
It did follow along with the movie storylines for about the first 2.5 seasons, and then they finally reached the point where it's like,
just make it
none of this makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
The coolest part was when they did the Captain America Civil War?
No, it was
Winter Soldier.
America.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier, when Hydra came
That
out.
crossover was phenomenal.
That was fantastic. I agree.
Yeah.
But after that, they didn't know how to keep the two jointed, and it was clear that they were never going to bring Coulson back to the MCU, and it just and everything got weird.
The Ghost Rider season was the shark jump moment.
I mean,
I enjoy the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. series. I have done a rewatch of that within the past 3 or 4 years, and I find that it's a much better series if you can watch it all together like that. Watching it season after season with 10 to 12 months between each season towards the end, it became really like, what the heck's going on here? I totally forget what was going on with this character.
Listen,
the storyline.
They had the best couple, I think, out of all the Marvel stuff, though. With, I can't remember their names though.
I know.
But it's still by far the best couple.
I know who you're talking about.
Hold on, I got it.
We're gonna get a
They also had one of the great all-time hero turned villain backstab moments.
Fitz and Gemma.
Yes.
Oh
yeah. No, absolutely.
I cried about them a couple times. Not even gonna lie.
Yes. Yeah. No, I do enjoy. I still can do a rewatch of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I enjoyed it.
I think that's honestly, that's what Marvel's missing. They need to have a heel turn. They need to have somebody turn evil. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
And they're kind of cheating
WWE
it.
did it recently, so why not, right?
Yeah, John Cena's American and all that. Now he's really American.
But it's unnecessary for me to give a big spoiler on this. But I will say that in one of the random TV series on Netflix, somebody who's been in a majority of the MCU movies as a side character gets very just, oh, by the way, we're going to kill off that character. And it's like, what? You didn't give them, like, Coulson got an adequate death scene in this movie that it's like, all right, that sucks. But he went out on this great note that even if he doesn't get resurrected for a TV series later, you're okay with it.
And that was one of the great Nick Fury moments, too, when she confronts him about those cards were in his locker.
Oh, yeah.
It's the great soap opera.
It reminded me of broadcast news.
I will say, and it's not a major gripe, but like I love Tom Hiddleston as Loki, but he was kind of a weak villain in this movie. Like I get it. I get he was there to set up the events that eventually happened with Thanos and stuff, but as like the main villain, it was kind of like,
Well, he's also the only villain who survived. Every other villain is dead.
I feel like he was in control of his own destiny.
Right.
You got the idea he was being bossed around, which is not who he works best. He works best when he is this scheming behind the scenes. Someone may think they're in charge of him, but he has a secret agenda kind of villain.
I think he hands down has the best character development through all the MCU.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, because now he's like,
Well, the show, he's so
we're gonna
good on
see him
TV.
again, which is what I'm excited for.
I'm excited.
Yeah, well, he's the most interesting character because they actually took time to develop and go through him actually turning about face and finding redemption, which is a heck of a lot more interesting than somebody just being Captain America.
Well, they did him.
Especially when you think of the amount of destruction and death he caused over the course of the MCU movies.
Oh,
yeah,
but they did him like to this day, I don't know. I mean, I get it was a plot device, but they did him really dirty in Infinity War. They really did. You know, it was just.
Yeah, I agreed with that. It took me a while to get over Loki's death in Infinity War.
Like he was in it for like 2 seconds. It's like
he's not dead. He went to Tahiti. Come on.
Well, you know.
Well, you know, but of course I'm still reeling from Black Widow's death. So I mean, what are you gonna do?
It is
I think she's pretty much come out and said she ain't coming back.
She's definitely not coming back.
Well, after that lawsuit, she ain't coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she has made that clear that character is dead. She feels that she had an excellent ending, and there's nothing
aside from the whole money thing
with that character. So I don't think
she's got a settlement. She got a settlement.
Yeah, I think for people who have seen, because having not seen a recent Marvel movie, but having partially burnt out on them, partially because they all kind of seem to have the same humor, which got very old at some point.
Yeah.
This one didn't seem to have that as much, and I don't know if that's just because I'm coming back to it after a while, or if it actually is like the humor evolved from here. But like it felt like there were fewer like undercutting moments or like just like irreverent like nods to the camera type thing, and more just like jokes that I actually thought were like interesting and funny.
It's Joss Whedon. Like he's actually a real writer who knows how to write great TV.
Whedon is an excellent writer. Firefly's the same way. Firefly has the right mix of pathos and humor and drama and excitement. And when he's given free reign to do that, the guy's incredible. It's just too bad he's such a jerk.
And then there's Justice League.
Oh, come on. Who doesn't want to see a 4-hour cut of Zack Snyder's Justice League?
I tell you what, I saw the 4-hour cut and I loved it. So
I'm waiting for Cinemaniacs, the Eric cut.
I thought Zack Snyder's version was 1,000% better than Josh Whedon's version.
Well, yeah, because he actually knew what to do with all the pieces.
No.
And it still was bad.
Yeah, it was still bad.
I don't think so.
So going to future Avengers, so the new one that's coming out is
2 years.
But Tony Stark is Dr. Doom.
No.
Spoilers.
No.
Robert Downey Jr.
Well, no, I heard that they're actually going to make it Tony Stark.
What else
That
could you
the
do
alternate
with it?
universe, and he never became Iron Man.
The rumor is it's a Tony Stark variant.
It's a variant of Tony Stark.
With this whole multiverse thing, they can do anything. So who knows?
Yeah.
Which is kind of a cop out, and which is why I think people aren't enjoying the movies as much.
And then as soon as you start having omniscient characters with infinite timelines, any plot has a potential Deus Ex Machina coming along at any moment. So it just sort of kills the narrative.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is, someone asked Chris Pratt, "Are you coming back as Star-Lord?" And he goes, "Well, we did say at the end of Guardians 3 that he'd be back, so you know." And I'm thinking, okay, well, are they going to try to shoehorn everybody into the first movie? Are they gonna maybe have the main cast be the kind of like the people they've announced, and then maybe the second movie bring more people in? Or
no, here's what they're gonna do. They're gonna have everybody who wants to be in the movie but doesn't want to do it get paid $5 million to have their likeness scanned, and then they can do whatever the heck they want with it for the next 10-15 years.
You know, Mark Ruffalo's been doing since the beginning,
right?
So wait, is the Fantastic Four going to be in this?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Fantastic Four, okay. Thunderbolts, the Fox X-Men are going to be in it. Who else? Black Panther. Well, the female Black Panther is going to be in it. And then Loki, Thor. Who else?
It's basically going to be Avengers, DEI Assemble plus Thor.
But you take what the Avengers did right, though, is assembling these characters, and the antithesis of that, and not that far removed from it in time, was what they did with the Defenders TV series, which took a couple of very interesting characters and a couple that weren't so great, and combined them in an utterly boring series.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel really bad for all these actors because they just try so hard. It's not really their fault.
Yeah.
Well, the guy who played Iron Fist is lobbying to be back in, claiming he's been misserved and he needs to be given a second chance, which is like, sorry, dude.
Well, the thing that's really going to piss me off, is if They do end up having Deadpool and Wolverine in it, and they're only in it for like 2 minutes. It's like, don't even put them in the movie if they're not going to be.
Nobody's going to be in it more than 2 minutes.
Well, I'm not. That's going to piss me off.
If you have that many people.
Well, they need to just keep them out of the movie then.
It's going to be Heroes season 3.
No, it's going to be a 7-hour movie. It'll be fine. Everybody will be in there. Everybody gets their time.
If it's Doctor Doom, it has to have the Fantastic Four as like major characters. You would think, at least. I don't know.
I mean, guys, they're shooting the finale last. Did you not see the huge line of chairs?
Yeah.
I mean, but that is the interesting thing, though, is Kang fought other Marvel teams and characters, but he was primarily an Avengers villain.
Yeah.
Doctor Doom is similar. Doctor Doom fought other teams, but he was primarily a Fantastic Four villain. That's where you always expected to find, Reed Richards versus Doctor Doom, and Tony Stark in the Avengers versus Kang was always those axes. So to cross it over that way is going to be interesting.
Well, what other villains do they have to fight the Avengers?
What was that, Cody?
What other villains do they have to fight the Avengers? Like that are specifically Avenger villains?
Well, Kang was a creep, so Kang's not around anymore.
I know. Well, he was found innocent. No, anyway. If
I was to pick someone like that could definitely work today, I would say maybe the one below all, even though it's much more of a whole.
I mean, they already used Ultron because Ultron was one of them.
Yeah.
Who else was a significant? I mean, they had tons of one-offs, but I'm talking about people that would, every year they bring him back for a couple of issue arcs.
Rhino. It's going to be Rhino.
Rhino was more Spider-Man.
Sorry, Paul Giamatti. Hell
yeah.
We're not doing the other one.
I mean, Galactus, but Galactus is more a Fantastic Four villain.
Yeah, Galactus was definitely Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And that was the whole Silver Surfer crossover thing too. It was.
Yeah, they're running out of villains right now.
What do you think, Amanda?
I have no idea about anything.
I
saw Endgame and have seen nothing since Endgame.
You ain't missing much.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Right.
You can't have sort of every villain has to be a cosmic villain now. You've got to have Thanos or Kang or Doctor Doom who are traveling through time, Galactus. You can't have Kingpin. You can't have Kilgrave. You can't have the guys that made them interesting in these big movies.
That was also something I liked about this movie, is because, again, having watched more recent Marvel movies and not having seen this one since like 2013 or something, it was fun having the villain just be Loki for half of it. And there obviously was a lot of tension, but the fact that it was not like, the world's about to end constantly meant that they could actually focus on like interesting character moments. And then at the end, we had they team up and they fight the invading enemy force, but we still have this cool, interesting, humanish villain to kind of focus on, as opposed to the inhuman swarm of like alien bad guys. And I thought that focus actually really helped the movie.
Is anyone going to mention the fact that this is basically 9/11 with superheroes?
Oh, it was clearly 9/11.
What Amanda was saying, it's why I really liked the Hawkeye TV series.
Right.
All the series.
Oh, so good.
I really enjoyed was the Hawkeye one, because he was not trying to use arrows to defeat an alien force or a galactic threat. Right. He was dealing with a threat in New York City.
Right. And it was still entertaining. It was well done.
And that's why
very well done.
And that's why Daredevil was so good on Netflix for the first 2 seasons, was because he was fighting villains on the streets. They were politicians, they were bullies, they were assassins, but they weren't demigods or aliens or creatures in another multiverse timeline. It was
But they feel like they have to like one up the previous villain every time. And when you have a villain, it's like, I'm going to rewrite the entire history of everyone. It's like, I don't know what you do from there. Like, I don't know. Like, you've kind of hit the top.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that was like what King was supposed to be. So I feel like the best direction they have to go in, and I kind of hate to say this, who's eating something?
Because he's going to say it anyway.
I'm going to say that I think that they should make Loki the villain again. I think it should be a double turn.
Oh, that would be crazy.
Like he's had his redemption.
And I'm sure you're all aware they're bringing back Phineas.
And
Ah.
Ferb. And Ferb. Phineas
It
and
wouldn't let him
Ferb.
say it. It wouldn't let him say it.
Oh no!
Phineas and Ferb.
I'm
yes.
not aware. Who are they bringing back?
I would watch it if Phineas and Ferb were the villains. That would be great.
You cut off after Phineas, Eric.
I know exactly who we're going to kill.
Oh wait, did I really cut off?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right after you said Phineas, you cut off.
No,
Bring back Phineas.
Disney is bringing back Phineas and Ferb, and Dr. Doofenshmirtz is going to be evil again. He actually stopped being evil for a while, and he's going to be evil again. So why couldn't they do that for Loki?
Yeah, fair.
He relapses. Avengers relapse.
I mean, the movie does really kick into high gear once the Battle of New York starts, though. It really gets
oh yeah,
intense.
Oh, yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
I think that does go on a tad long, but it doesn't really drag it down.
Yeah, it does. There's like 40 minutes left of the movie when the portal opens.
Yeah.
But it is funny. It is funny how Iron Man sacrifices himself and
we are
he's just
killing
laying down the
StreamYard tonight.
street,
What is going
and the
on?
Hulk walks up to him and just yells at him, and he wakes up. It's like
I did the same thing when I was a kid.
Is anybody here? Cody, I can see you're moving.
We can.
Yeah. Oh, he's having internet issues.
We're all good from. I think it's.
Oh no. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a slightly off-topic question.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna drop in and get done with my evening so I can go to bed. Where did everyone first meet Jeremy Renner? I'm curious. Like, what is your first memory of Jeremy Renner? Is it in this role in these movies?
It's a good
Oh
question.
yeah, I don't think I remember him from anything else.
I'm not sure who that is. I'm sorry.
What was the 2008
Hawkeye.
movie?
Hawkeye.
Hurt Locker. Hurt Locker.
Oh,
Hurt
I saw
Locker?
him.
Okay,
Yeah,
that was
him.
before this. Bernie
Was-
said
was
Hansel and
his-
Gretel. Huh?
yes, I saw him in Hansel and Gretel, but was the Bourne movie before Avengers or after Avengers?
It was the same year. It looks like they're both 2012.
Oh, okay.
My first time remembering Jeremy Renner was watching SWAT, and he was the bad guy.
Oh yeah, that's true.
yeah.
And that was crazy to me.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking the new SWAT. Sorry.
Because there was also Samuel L. Jackson was also in that, which I thought was funny.
He was also in National Lampoon's Senior Trip. What?
Really? I didn't know that.
1995.
He drove the bulldozer.
He was also in 28 Weeks Later.
That's
He
crazy.
was also in Dahmer. He played Jeffrey Dahmer in 2002.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
What the heck? Really?
Yeah.
I literally was just
probably
thinking about this
Bourne
the other day,
then.
so I
If
thought
he
it
was in
funny.
Bourne.
Wait, so we've had
Yeah.
2 Marvel actors play Jeffrey Dahmer.
That is true.
That's funny.
Wow.
Very
I do
interesting.
know he's in some TV show that's on like Showtime or something that everyone says is really good, but I've never.
Oh,
watched.
Mayor
Mayor
Mayor of
of something?
Kingstown. Mayor of Kingstown.
Mayor
Yeah.
of Kingstown. King
Yeah,
of
that's really
Mayorstown,
good.
whichever.
They just filmed by Hanks last week
Oh yeah, they filmed that in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
in
Home
Beaver
of the
County.
Headless Cow?
Oh.
All right, y'all hop it off. It was nice seeing you guys.
Good to see
Cody,
you.
it's good to
That
see
was
you. Thank you,
terrible.
sir.
Yeah, man.
Wiki wiki.
Wiki, wiki,
Go
wiki.
Steelers.
Hank's frozen custard. Yep.
Why are you guys making the Howard the Duck noise?
Go
That's
Steelers!
his thing.
Go Steelers! They still don't have a quarterback.
Oh,
Oh,
Crazy.
I hope they don't sign Idiot Face. But anyway,
I hope so too.
they already did last year, and then they let him go.
no, the current guy they're currently thinking of hoping to sign is more of an Idiot Face.
Totally off topic, but I'm pretty.
Is this sports?
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
I'm pretty off-
Oh,
pretty
okay.
off-
All right.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
bummed.
It's interesting, Brian. It's called football, but you don't really kick it.
Yeah, you
All
kick
we're
it a
trying-
lot.
Oh,
We're just trying to get Eric's video, but he's not doing it.
I
So,
know.
so on a quick side, note, I'm pretty,
There's too many
pretty like.
videos in here. This is why we had to update this thing.
Here we go.
This has been Sports Talk, when Eric had no idea what anyone was talking about.
Such a manly voice.
I'm watching sports right now.
Oh, the NC2A.
Yep, sure am.
3 out of 4 coaches in the Final Four were Jewish this year. How about that for a statistic? And one was named
3 out of 4
Samson.
coaches this year are circumcised, and so should you be.
Oh, wow.
Is that why they call it the cut?
I
Oh,
know.
Get me
that's why they called it the
started.
tip off.
Don't get me
Let's tip
started.
off.
You see what I did there?
I saw what you did.
Great,
All right.
buddy. That
I
was a
am
really
mildly,
great-
I am mildly bummed. Well, not mildly. I'm pretty not happy that I was all ready come Wednesday morning to pre-order the Switch 2, and now I can't.
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Tariffs.
The tariffs. They pulled
Tariffs,
the-
They come out in June, and who knows if the price will shoot up. So they're waiting.
Yeah, they pulled it. They pulled only in the United States though. You can still pre-order it anywhere else. but
Canada,
not the US.
UK, Europe, just not
Yeah,
the US.
Nintendo has deferred indefinitely the pre-order date for the US.
For the US, yeah.
Yep. So Jaguar Land Rover have stopped shipping cars to the United States.
But if you saw the commercials, you're not really disappointed about that.
No. Oh, you got the cops, Adam?
No, that's us.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
The writers have a switch. Arrest them.
And Brittany also said the police were calling her to go out. So a lot of cop action happening.
No, I'm just in West Virginia where nobody has teeth.
All right. Well, I had planned.
That's why they call it a toothbrush. That's where they've made it.
Where nobody owns stock, so who cares what the stock market does?
I had planned on having a 45-minute conversation about how the whole science behind Mjolnir works, but we don't have to do that.
I'm up for it. We can.
That's not a question of the second movie, I thought.
Doesn't that bring in the whole Jane Foster thing then?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, who's really worthy here? You know,
Whatever the plot wants.
The vision scene though in the later movie was one of the best scenes. One of the best
absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I kind of enjoyed it in Thor where he just hangs it on a hook in James Corbett. I enjoyed that as well. All right, we're gonna get thumbs up, thumbs down. Where are we going? Avengers, yay! Woohoo! Party time! Yeah, look at that all around. We're all so happy. Perfect. There we go. What a way to end the night.
Dan, I'm changing my vote for Saturday night. No.
What now?
I said I was changing my vote for Mr. Saturday Night. I was
fair enough.
Keeping it up.
All right. Are we going to talk about what else you've been watching? What do you want to do now? Want to talk about what else?
We can do whatever.
Let's.
That's not good. Wow, I guess you can't win some.
We gotta get some of that.
See, the whole show should have been that.
We got to get some of that. Is that what
Eric,
you said?
Eric, did you ever get some of that?
Yeah. What was that about?
Oh, I got some of that.
What? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Did you
I had
give
to
me
get
a
the wide angle lens. No, I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Don't mind me. Whoa, Scott left on that. There we go.
It reminds me in music and lyrics where every member of the band had to have a hip replacement, you know?
I think I mentioned the studio last week, the new TV show on Apple TV Plus. They're all pluses. But also The Residence on Netflix, very good. I'm not finished with it. And I'm finally getting into the whole White Lotus thing.
Oh.
So that's what I've been that's
what
what I've been watching.
Everybody's watching the White Lotus. I've not watched the White Lotus.
Neither have I.
Is that the sequel to Black Panther?
No.
Brittany finished Shadowhunters on Hulu. Stupid ending, but it was canceled.
It was canceled. Stupid ending then.
I will repeat my recommendation from a week or two ago when I had only seen the first episode. But I highly recommend Ludwig. It's only 6 episodes, British series. It's on BritBox if you want to pay for it. It's really well done. It's it's a procedural, but a procedural with a lot of weird quirks and interesting angles, and just really, really well done and very interesting characters. And season 1 ends to set up season 2, but without leaving you completely hanging, which is a good balance to strike.
Cool. Yeah, I do want to watch that one. I will cautiously recommend something that you're all going to groan about. We watched The Electric State.
Ugh.
Oh, okay.
Which is it's a Netflix movie. It's a made-for-streaming movie. It is the world's most expensive made-for-streaming movie ever made. Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt in a remake that's based on a book, but apparently doesn't follow the book very well. It's bad in a lot of ways. But if you want to unplug your brain for a while and see a lot of cool visuals, it is directed by the Russo brothers. So it looks great. There's a lot of problems with it, but it's It's entertaining in a lot of ways. It's just not good. So
On the movie poster, the quote would be, "It's entertaining."
Oh, absolutely. It's totally entertaining.
It's funny. It's funny that outside of Marvel, their movies aren't very good. Outside of the Marvel movies,
yeah, it's sad in a lot of ways to see that much money go towards something as mediocre as this is, but it's still, make some popcorn, and I don't know.
Well,
I won't say I didn't have a good time watching it, but at the end of the day, I don't feel like I watched a masterpiece. That's for sure.
I mean, the Russo Brothers made Arrested Development and Community, a bunch of really good shows. So.
That's true.
And again, they're like TV writers, directors, which is why they were hired for the Marvel movies. So doing a one-off is kind of hard for them.
I will say one upcoming movie that has me intrigued. I'm not going to say excited. That's too strong. But I wouldn't have thought it would work. But then I heard the casting and thought it could work, which is the new Naked Gun movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Seth MacFarlane. I think it's going to be great.
Replacing Leslie Nielsen is hard. Liam Neeson is inspired casting.
And he plays his
100%.
son.
Yeah.
He's Frank Drebin Jr. And they have a really funny scene in the trailer where the guy, George Kennedy's kid's looking up at the picture.
Oh.
Then they show a picture of OJ. And then this young black man just like looks at the camera and goes.
I mean, they saw that scene with Liam Neeson asking for tricks in Ted 2, and they're like, okay, lean in, buddy. That's going to be your career.
It has potential. It has
I'm
potential.
excited about it. I'm like, real comedy. Thank you.
Oh, so last night I went to a screening here on the island. The guy that did Blair Witch has a movie that came out right before, it came out during COVID, called Skyman. And it's kind of like a UFO based kind of fake documentary about a guy who, gets abducted or he meets an alien when he's 10. And on his 40th birthday, he goes out to try to, he's supposed to meet him again. And it was really cool. And I just noticed it's available for free on Tubi.
He's a sky man.
And the leading actor and actress were both there last night.
Did you get to meet them?
Yeah.
This name drop is sponsored in part by Death. It's closer than you think. Death is not available in all areas. Please consult your doctor to find out if death is right for you.
Wow.
He didn't say any names.
Well, I was setting him up to say the names.
Yes. Last night, Dan, who I know already, Michael Selly, Nicolette Sweeney, they were both there. It's funny they're calling it a documentary on here, which makes it even funnier because people might think it's real. And it is Blair Witchy. It is very Blair Witchy.
Nice.
I have watched some videos. There's a fellow who posts videos mocking, but in I would say respectful way, mocking, but in a way that clearly debunks them. The flat earthers called Cyman Dan. And it is amazing watching some of these flat earther videos because it is just such delusion. It is amazing. They actually raised money to send a couple of the flat earthers to Antarctica to witness the 24-hour day when the sun never sets, to prove to them that the earth was round. The two guys they sent were convinced. Now all their other ex-friends are ganging up on them saying that they're now in on it and they're faking it and they sold out, and it's hysterical.
When you get so deep in something like that, it's kind of hard to...
That's amazing.
Wow.
Just go up in an airplane. You can see the curvature of the earth.
I know.
Yeah, I don't think any of us here need to be convinced, I think.
That'd be like a really funny movie, though. Like, where it's like trying to prove the existence of God, where just someone says, okay, we're going to prove that the earth is flat. Here's my mockumentary, hour and a half. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to prove to you with everything.
Yeah, how come we never watched Capricorn 1?
You didn't pick it, Dave.
Yeah,
that's
just out that opportunity.
I liked it when it came out. Yeah.
In Skyman, the movie I mentioned a moment ago, that's a lot of what they say is like people that are abducted by, you can't not prove them.
Right.
You can't prove it happened. You can't not prove it happened.
Exactly.
So that's why that lore always sticks.
There was a fellow who had another video out, and I can't remember the name of the philosopher who coined it, who it's named after. There's a law that says any theory that has no way of being disproven is not science. In other words, if you can think of no experiment that could be done, no data that could be gathered, nothing you could do that could ever disprove this to you, then you've left the realm of science and there's no point in talking about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bigfoot doesn't exist.
Nefarious.
Nefarious.
What is nefarious?
I don't know.
It's
Yes,
a word
Tell
that
us more
Ron
about
Lacey
nefarious.
says in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
2023 horror suspense. That's an intense cover.
It's the Dr. Nefario movie.
Wow.
Oh, you said horror suspense. I was like, really?
No, I didn't.
What did you hear?
I didn't hear the additional syllable after horror.
Wow.
No, I didn't go see this movie, but I got a message after the movie that said, "Yeah, you would have hated this movie. It was the Minecraft movie." My girlfriend and her kids went and saw it, and she texted me afterwards. And she goes, "Yeah, you would have hated the movie."
It had a huge weekend, though.
She said in the theater they were in, she was probably the oldest person in the theater.
Of course she was.
My youngest saw it and loved it. Thought it was great.
I think it was stupid.
It's better reviews than I expected from the trailer. Like it has a 48 critic on Rotten Tomato and like an 87 audience. And the audience is there, but like 48 critic is way higher than I was expecting from the
I said a couple times, Jimmy Kimmel for the last like 3 months, every time a guest has been on his show that has any role in the Minecraft movie, he tells them, he goes, I don't know what the critics are going to say. I don't know what the end result is going to be. All I can tell you is my son Billy is more excited for this movie than anything I can ever remember in his entire life.
That's awesome.
And so that was the audience just waiting for this movie. I think is what it was.
Absolutely.
I'm not the demographic.
No, you're not.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unlike the Snow White audience.
I mean, as soon as I saw Jack Black was in it, I was like,
"Can't be real. It's not real."
Well, that was one of the things that the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves did so well.
Is that a penguin from the
we discussed this before. Is catering to the core crowd and still being entertaining to outsiders.
Yeah,
it's
hard to do.
I saw that penguin get killed in sudden death.
Oh yeah.
Is that Adam?
That's Adam's beard.
That's Adam right before he
It's just
shaved.
Adam's beard.
So if Minecraft has 48% and Snow White has 40%.
I'm sure it'd be a great mashup. Yeah, I think they would combine very effectively.
I have no
Those
desire.
are going to be next week's movies. Your challenge is no. I'm kidding.
There were both movies that people had come out with a lot of hate for before they were released.
It's actually really funny that everyone went to see the Minecraft movie. I saw all these kids outside the theater. I'm like, oh, they're going to see the 4K releases of Princess Mononoke, just like me. Like, no, they've seen the freaking Minecraft movie. I'm like, oh. All right.
Yeah.
There's your culture.
I watched a movie this week that was more intense than I was expecting it to be, because the Wikipedia said it was a comedy drama, and it's definitely far more on the drama than the comedy. It is a 2016 Italian movie called Perfect Strangers. That was apparently remade 24 times and has the Guinness World Record for the most remade movie. I was looking up a movie that would be good for like learning Italian, so I watched it on Italian Netflix with Italian subtitles in Italian. And it was good, but it was so intense. It's like and I don't think it looks like they're working on a remake in English, but there hasn't been one yet. It just looks like every 24 other countries all have remakes of this movie.
That's so funny.
I might have seen a remake of it. I'm trying to figure it out.
Bronson Pinchot and Mark Lynn Baker?
It's like a group of 8 people who are at a dinner
I was going to
party.
say, that's what it came to me. Standing tall.
Let us do our Bartokamos happy dance.
The dance of joy.
Yes, I don't think Amanda knows the series Perfect Strangers.
No,
I do not. No, this is a group of people at a dinner party and they're talking about how like, well, like someone got divorced. Well, everyone has secrets, and it's like, well, I really don't. I'm like, I would share my phone with you. So they all put their phones on the table and kind of eventually like peer pressure everyone into agreeing that any messages or phone calls they get during the dinner, they will have like read to everyone or answer on speakerphone, and just have like no secrets because we're all cool, right? This is like a fun game we're playing, and it like starts out like kind of chill, and then apparently like everyone is a horrible person and all this like crazy and like the one guy knows he's gonna get a text from like this like fling that he has, and he's there with his wife, so he convinces this other guy who is single to trade phones with him so that he'll get the message instead, but then he gets all kinds of other crazy message. It's like it's
his wife knows it's his phone.
That sounds fun. Yeah.
It was good. It was a lot.
Let's play.
Oh no, I meant it sounds fun to watch, not do. No.
Eric and Dan were planning.
Watch.
I mean, that's the other movie I saw this last week, actually, Mana, because the menu's back on Prime.
Fair, yeah.
Eric loves that movie.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
See, nobody dies, so I mean, it's better in that regard. Like they just hate.
No
each
one
other.
you care about dies.
Yeah. So it's not like a menu.
Yeah, there's no stabbing each other. There's just like finding out that everyone's having an affair, or like.
I was interested for a second. No,
I'm so sorry. There's no.
So Dan, Eric, now that you've retired, what are you going to do with your lives?
You know what? That's what Marvel is missing. They need a shawarma scene where everyone just kills each other. The menu universe.
Wow.
I'm just gonna continue being busy, and Eric's busy, and we're gonna come up with something new. But
there'll be stuff.
Are you going to do
we'll
the
do game nights?
The musical?
EriDan the musical.
It's a lot. The musical, yeah.
That's right.
It's a lot's getting really busy. That's good.
Good.
Comedy's getting very busy, which is good.
Oh, is this Dan's TV series mentioned? Is this you mentioning your?
Yes.
Yeah, have we mentioned It's a Lot yet this evening?
Oh no, have
A
you?
lot.
This reference to Dan's sitcom pilot is brought to you in part by the all-new Era sedan. With a car this hot, you know it's a lot.
But did we mention the Fluckerschnoodles?
I like the atom on the top of the windshield, though. That was good.
Isn't that a nice touch? Yeah, it's all in the details.
Yes. So yes, the award-winning sitcom.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We should. I think we have something coming from LA as well. They're waiting for some reason. I don't know why they're taking so long to
sending you a leg
announce
lamp.
anything.
Yeah.
It is a
They're
major
sending
award.
it by Al.
Major
Dan.
award.
Adam, you're going to be in Atlanta next week?
No,
You done with Atlanta?
I'll be home.
For Christmas.
Yeah.
You can
Oh.
count on it.
Count on me.
God
You're racking
damn.
up the.
I'm
the
so
miles in
ashamed
the
that
hotel.
both Dave and I were on that.
We're on what?
We were immediately able to jump on that lyric.
Oh,
It means I'm 30 years away from looking like this.
Yeah. In your dreams.
yeah. How are you going to grow hair back?
The new EriDan.
Oh, the EriDan.
Don't forget.
I still have. Look, I still have it sitting in my drawer.
I'm looking like this.
Hold on.
What's Dave doing?
Oh,
He was showing his knee.
He accidentally put his
That was awesome.
Hey, who's that teenager right there?
Who's that guy?
Oh, you
It's
can still
Dan.
see the tape. But this one's. Hold on, I got to tuck it back.
Wow.
man.
There's the original EriDan.
It's Ash Ketchum. Oh my gosh.
Looking really good too.
Hey, you're alive.
He's back.
Dude, you look just like you're 19 years old. Ready to get some skateboard, listen to some Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I did neither of those things.
Dan, can you do me a favor? Can you say, that's whack?
That's whack, man.
You are so
Dan's going to go out and
Actually,
fix grinding, man.
You look like the former teenager who lives in his mother's basement.
Yes.
You look like, more like Wayne than Garth, but yeah.
Party on.
It's Dan's world. Dan's
I always thought
world.
Dan is more the Wayne and Eric is more the Garth, but who knows?
Oh.
Well, the blonde and the dark hair.
Yeah, yep.
That's how we were.
And you live further north, closer to Canada.
If Dan did Master of Disguise, it would definitely be funnier.
Thank you. All right.
At least you didn't marry an ex murderer, as far as we know.
I'll be home. I'll be home next week, and then I'll be gone for 3 straight weeks. So,
any
So you
final
won't
words?
be here on the 19th for the Johnny 5 show?
no, I'll be gone 2 weeks. 2 weeks in Ohio and 1 week in Indiana.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you with a new company or same company?
Same company.
You're just moving up in the world.
Just traveling a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna be traveling a lot more now. So,
Well, Dan, Eric, do you have any final words? Like, you guys made this happen for 5 years.
Yeah.
I think we're out of words. I think we've
That's
said
the
it
whole
all.
purpose.
That's the point.
I think we ran out of words.
That's the reason is you just run out of things to say.
That's why so many people showed up, to make sure they're actually leaving.
We're just gonna
Picking
keep
up my tab, closing.
Closing time.
How is it 5 years? It's just crazy.
It is.
I know.
If
I didn't even
measles
know Dan
becomes a
5 years
pandemic,
ago.
you're going to start again?
Yeah, if we get locked, I mean, the stock market is crashing like in 2020, but that's not going to keep us locked in our house. But yeah, if we get stuck in our house again, we will relaunch immediately.
Okay, immediately is a bold claim. Okay, yeah.
That is. I'm not committing to that.
Immediately.
All right, wait, hold on. We have a message from Brittany I'd like to read. It's a little bit big. Sorry, we're blocking everybody out. Sorry about that. All right, friends, I've reached my destination, so I'm going to get all sentimental and let you finish up the show since I got to go. When I came in, I was 3 months postpartum after a really traumatic birth and a rough NICU, as they say, stay, and a close loss. I was a hot mess emotionally, and the postpartum depression was consuming at times. You guys gave me so much joy in such a dark season. Thanks for all the laughs, and please keep me posted on what's next.
Yay. Well, we love you, Brittany. I mean, honestly, we have been so grateful that all of you people have joined us so regularly. And the people who joined us for a while and then stopped, we hate those people. But
and Scott, I forgive you for cats.
I did not pick that movie.
that was Eric.
No, that sounds like that was a Scott pick. Yeah,
That was a Scott pick.
That was a Scott. That was an Amanda promise.
Definitely not.
That was semi a Scott pick. That was half a Scott pick.
I am still grateful. I am
would
grateful
never
for
pick.
Amanda's pick of cats.
I don't know how I got off the hook for it, but I'll take it.
I liked
Is this
the
what-
watch.
this why
The
we're
watch
doing
was
this?
fun.
Brian, you're supposed to do this before we said the goodbyes.
Brian, Michelle Sanders Frizzell wrote that when I posted the thing, she was, "This got me through 2020."
Yeah.
And then somebody said, "Contacting support about your account is totally pointless because they're not going to respond." I had the same experience. It's a bot. Let's remove that.
What Eric needs to do now is post a follow-up report. The lowest rated movie picked by each person.
Oh, that would be very interesting.
I mean, I know mine's cats.
Mine's cats too. Mine might be Teen Titans.
Mine's
too.
Christmas
I'm sorry
Prince,
about
I
that.
think.
Oh, man.
Mine might be Gunga Dean. I'm not sure.
Yeah, mine is probably Sergeant Pepper. I will probably.
Not Who's That Girl? Anybody?
No, the movie that we picked that did the lowest.
Yeah, each person.
You know, if it's our least favorite, 100% Who's That Girl?
Oh.
I think mine was probably Somewhere in Time.
Oh yeah, I think
probably.
Or Time Cop.
I am
Or
so
Time
shocked
Cop.
all the time how many
THX
people
1138.
love that movie.
It's a great movie.
It's
Could be THX
people
1138.
always are commenting, "Oh, I love this movie." I'm like, "Are you related to Dan?
Oh, yeah.
Let me connect you."
Why can't we hear Stacy clearly now? This is the real thing.
She swapped laptops.
Oh, okay.
See, we did a little thing behind the scenes, Scott. We did a little edit. We did a little edit. You didn't even notice.
Yep.
That was seamless.
Yeah.
I know.
They know what they're doing.
All right, I'll take editor off my description here.
I'm pulling up the spreadsheet real quick. As Eric's already doing this.
I think mine was The Raid 2.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, that
Thanks,
feels
man.
great.
I mean,
Was that the Kung Fu one?
I don't remember you picking any like absolute stinkers.
Right.
Is most of what I'm saying, and I remember that one
Yeah.
kind of being like a very middling one.
There are
Well-
a couple Scott picked that I went,
Right.
I know why you picked it. I didn't like it, but I know why you picked it.
Maybe Beowulf.
Time Cop.
Oh,
Time
Well, yeah,
Cop got
that's probably your lowest. Yeah.
Time Cop got a 69.8. Time Cop
Alpha
was-
Male,
That
the
wasn't
Viking
anywhere
movie.
near as bad.
I had a
I
pretty
like
good
Time Cop. I think it's fun.
My lowest one was probably, I don't know, Super Troopers, probably, maybe.
Because you're a super
Or Goonies.
Oh, Eric, you just read good.
I did. I did the ultimate sort.
Perfect.
Stacy's the one that brought us. Who's that girl?
Right.
That would be Stacy's lowest choice.
It was a memorable one.
Amanda's cats.
Let me see.
Yeah, I know.
It's a little confusing because of the way we were doing it, and we didn't keep track of who requested what. Dan's mother's lowest was Jeannie. Wade's lowest was the Family Stone. Maybe a tie between the Family Stone and the Final Countdown.
That's what I was gonna say. I thought Final Countdown was in there too.
Oh, I'd forgotten about the bad special effects in the title.
Brian's A Christmas Prince.
I knew it'd be that one. Yeah, I knew it.
You did bring us that one, didn't you? Brittany's was The Ringer.
That makes sense.
Coming up the list here, Dan, Somewhere in Time.
Yep.
You see, Dan's mother, The Creator, was the lowest one.
Oh yeah.
The AI one. Yeah.
Okay. By the way, my lowest score 58.6.
Oh, okay.
Almost a passing grade.
Almost, but no cigar.
Is that what you told your mother when you brought home your report card?
I'm not that Jewish, Dave.
Mine was
from New York.
definitely Sergeant Pepper. Mine was definitely Sergeant Pepper.
Yours was definitely Sergeant Pepper.
Yeah.
What was mine?
Because I forgave Scott. I'm not forgiving you, Eric.
I stand by it.
I know you do. That's why I'm not forgiving you.
Yeah, I'm not asking for forgiveness.
I mean, I still watch The Christmas Prince every year, so.
Scott doesn't have Scott. We're getting up pretty high to get the Scots. Either that or Scott just never got to choose movies very often.
Let me think about that one.
Just because you had your thumb on the wheel, yeah.
Whatever it took.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, a bunch of whining. Why does Dave get it? Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. I went through a stretch there where I was coming up all the time, I do admit.
It was impressive.
Or the riders were.
And I skipped a few of those too. I said, no, take me off. Do someone else.
This is how Washington works, guys.
Compromise.
Eric, I can't be that good.
Movie, The Raid 2.
What's the rating?
The rating 57.71.
Dang it! I lost the damn by 1 point.
You lost the Somewhere in Time.
That was mine.
How did I do that?
Adam, let me.
I'm trying to remember this one though. Like, what was that one about?
It's like an Indian movie.
It was The Godfather with Kung Fu. It was a Thai movie.
Thai movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I liked that one though. I don't know.
So you guys all gave The Godfather 58. Congratulations.
Yeah, that was low, Godfather Scott. Sorry.
Adams was Strange Brew.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
All right. By the way, I just pulled up Adam's scores of everything he scored. So Adam scored, and I just pulled the numbers. I didn't pull the movies, but Adam scored 260 films.
Okay.
And that's just from this list, not including the last.
Yeah.
Well, these are the ones we scored. These are not because Cinemaniacs we didn't score.
Right.
So these are all the movies we scored. How many single digits do you think Adam had out of that? Out of
30.
all of those?
42.
He only had 9 single digits.
Oh,
no way!
Three ones, a 4, and 5 fives.
Wow.
How many? But how many hundreds do you think he had?
6.
5.
15?
Yeah, had a few.
10? Maybe like 10.
He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
But here's what's impressive. How many 80 pluses do you think he had? Or Adam, how many do you think you had?
Out of how many?
260.
Out of 260.
I mean, you had 7 hundreds.
120.
You think you had 120 that were over 80?
No way. No way.
No.
I'd say 50.
Yeah, that sounds closer to
Adam
correct.
had 72.
Yeah, I was gonna say 75.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, if you there, he's the only one with this many low scores, but he also has a lot of high scores. So he must have liked some of the movies during this.
So what's my lowest movie, Eric?
Oh, sorry.
You just picked good movies. You didn't have a bad one.
Yeah, they're all good.
Eric hated Take the Money and Run.
I did not.
I
A lot
love
of
that
people
movie.
didn't like Gunga Din.
My dad's favorite movie.
Then pretty up the list here to find you. Or do Heaven Can Wait.
Oh, okay.
What's the score?
72.33.
Okay, yeah, that's not that low.
He might have the highest rated lowest movie.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. It seems like it. Yeah.
Else. Now. Crazy.
Wow.
I'll take that.
It's a good honor.
Do we want to know all our highest rated?
Now let's say who's got the highest rated movie of everybody and the lowest rated movie of everybody. I think
Has you ever picked Forrest Gump?
Yeah, I think that was me.
Shawshank, Forrest Gump. There have been a few really high ones.
Yeah.
Amadeus would have been 100
I
if it weren't
wouldn't-
for Brian.
I mean, the lowest rated one.
Oh, we're
was
Amadeus.
Who's That Girl?
I'm sorry.
Oh, Who's That Girl? Okay.
Who's That Girl is the lowest.
Yep.
Yeah, fair.
The highest rated ones are Forrest Gump, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, Iron
Yes.
Man, Back to the Future, Toy Story, Groundhog Day,
UHF.
UHF, of course, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings.
Well, I'm showing Spinal Tap as the top. That can't be right.
I don't think.
On this list, Spinal Tap's a 91.5.
No,
I mean-
you're not looking at the top of the list then.
I'm looking at the bottom
My
of the list.
client, Brad Williams, is going to
Is it
be in
sorted
Spinal
by-
Tap too.
I sorted it by the EriDan score. Make sure you're sorting by
Okay.
the EriDan score, not the score high to low.
I'm not sorting anything. I'm going by your sort.
And you're sure at the top of the list. where you
I'm
see
at the
Forrest-
bottom of the list. Right now, the bottom is showing. Oh, wait, that's copy of. Sorry. All right.
There you go.
There we go. Forrest Gump,
Yeah.
Star Wars, Iron Man, Back to the Future.
Yeah.
But who had the highest rated TV show?
We didn't rate the TV show.
We didn't rate them.
I know. It was the thumbs up.
I think The Fringe.
I mean, honestly, we did. It was when we did start to ask people like a yes, no for TV shows. The highest is news radio.
We also had a lot of trouble with. We'd come in and to discuss TV show, and 3 people would have watched an episode.
Yeah, it was
So
a
it
lot.
really just goes
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough.
We should send that information to Marble.
I think the highest rated for me that I got from like not request like
Let's see what Brian's highest rated movie is.
oh no I meant like TV show. I was just gonna say like Continuum. Like I got from Dan's recommendation and I really liked that a lot. That was.
Did you finish Travelers?
I have not. I'm still working through it.
Oh, awesome.
I've been reading a lot lately.
Yeah, the old like Harry Ballantyne and some of the old showbiz people that he had cameos for in there. That was fun.
My Harry Valentine.
Brian's highest rated movie, I think, was
Jurassic Park.
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone when we were doing ratings of 1 to 100.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
One day, someone's going to make Harry Potter and the Stone Sorcerer, and I will be very happy.
I think that someone needs to be you.
That is really good. I like that. I like that a lot.
Dude, I'm like so gonna zap you. Man.
Eric,
This thing's crunchy, man.
We did 304 movies.
Wait. Uber Eats is here with my Taco Bell order. Hold on.
Oh man, the owl ate it again.
The owl ate.
260 on the first version and 44 on Cinemaniacs. Is that correct?
That sounds correct. Yes.
304 movies later.
Wow.
And here we are. Almost 5 years.
And you picked a Bob Zemeckis movie.
June.
Now,
would have
did
been.
you start with movies right away, Dan? Do you remember the date you started?
The first movie show, I think Eric said
UHF,
was
wasn't it?
in June. It was
I do have the
UHF.
date on that one. Yeah, it was in June.
Okay.
But Dan started in May and March.
No, I started in March.
Yeah.
And then I had no way for people to call in, so I was just talking to myself.
Dead Air Live.
It was Dead Air Live, basically, the
Yeah.
old show. By the way, I found an entire crate of videotapes when I was just in Santa Monica, because we still have a condo there that we've been renting out to somebody for 20 years, basically. And there was an entire crate of videotapes that have moved from Orlando to New Orleans to LA, and they have never made it up here. I'm going to ship them up. I'm going back down in a couple of weeks, and I've got like a boatload of Dead Air Live tapes.
Oh, nice.
A lot of stuff down there.
Yeah, Scott saw it. I just have to get a VCR now. But yeah, so I started that, and then slowly I figured out a way to get people on as guests, and then Rick
originally
Burdine
it was all
was
comedy.
on.
It had to be
Yeah,
comedy.
we're only doing comedies because we're trying to make it was all feel good stuff. It's
given the race.
And we did, I forget what every night was. We had game night.
Friday.
We did a trivia night. I don't even
I
remember
wasn't
anymore.
really attached at that point. Just
There was a binge
pop
drinking
on
night.
once in a while.
I had to drink every night.
Oh yeah, Dan was consuming quite frequently.
One drink, that's consuming. Well, for you, that is. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Hey.
Hey,
What?
and we missed the chance to.
I see what I did there.
Well, the whole background
You
change.
saw what you did.
I need my Fluckerstrudel.
There's our Blackhawk logo.
Oh wow.
Yeah, look
Your
at
black what logo?
Blackhawk.
Our high school,
We are.
not black.
So there's a hymn that uses the theme.
Oh, Black Hawk. That was not what I heard.
Oh.
I know what you heard there, Scott. Thank
That
you.
joke's been done. Scott, you read that episode.
This mildly sexual content is brought to you in part by
Big Eddie's Slaughterhouse and Petting Zoo. The only place you get to feast on fun.
Minutes from the mall.
Wow, that's been a while.
Minutes from the Dead Mall.
You were waiting on that word, Eric.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Lebanon Church Road, Pittsburgh.
Minutes from the mall.
I mean, I did go to Paulsville Junior High, which became Paulsville Middle School right after I left. So I almost went to PMS.
Well, this was the very no, that's not even it. Here's the first movie logo. You can't even see it.
No.
No, that was just like a screen for two people.
Yeah.
Eric was the first movie logo?
Yeah, hold
That's a
on,
pretty
hold
good
on.
logo. Ken.
Here,
Yeah,
I'll bring you all right back. Hold on.
It's a long way to go.
There it was.
Hey, looky there. It's like we fit in the little squares.
Yeah,
That was totally worth it.
yeah. That was the first one.
This feels like a podcast with Dan, his three kids, the guitars.
Yeah. But we had, where's the video? Maybe it's under
Video. What video?
the thing that had like the commercial of all the different shows we were doing.
Oh, I think I deleted it.
Oh,
What? We don't delete anything.
That's history, Eric.
It was I don't think I deleted it.
he sold it on Facebook
iHeart.
Marketplace.
You have the I gotta get me some of that video. You wouldn't have deleted it.
So many videos, but StreamYard only lets you have like 100 assets in one
Yeah.
theme.
So we had to delete
So
some
I
stuff.
think it got removed because it was no longer accurate. I'm sure I have it.
Then I had this old beginning.
We pride ourselves on the high moral standards of our program.
And now,
I mean that sincerely.
broadcasting live from Seattle.
We don't resort to sex or crime or violence or drinking.
Quiet! I can't hear myself lie! It's the Dan Rosenberg Show.
That's
You
when I
don't
was doing the morning show.
You don't resort to drinking?
No,
That's a lie.
I don't lie. Quiet. I can't hear myself lie. Didn't you
I
hear
bought
that?
you a drink.
I said that right afterwards.
Uh-huh.
What was this one? The comedian show. I don't remember what that was. That was one of the shows I was doing.
I'm
And of course
surprised
we-
Michael didn't show up tonight.
Of course, we have Oh yeah. Of course, we have Caryata. All right. I'm trying to find all the. Here's our reunion show.
Get ready. Whoa, that was loud.
Yeah.
It was very loud.
Okay, where are you? Hold on. Don't. Where are you at now? Oh, you're in the high school reunion show.
Did you guys do a live there?
Oh, hey, that's my font. That's my logo. That's the poster, Dan, from last year.
What is
Yeah,
that?
how did that end up in there?
You can't forget the game
Hostile
night,
control.
which led to the all-time classic, "The Tree of My Soul."
Right. Oh,
Yes.
you see, you just messed everything up.
All right.
Stop.
I won't move. Where are you?
I don't know if this is gonna load now because you just
Oh, I'm sorry.
you just messed me up.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
How dare you?
It's gonna be
this is
so
why
good.
they're splitting up.
All right, hold on. Let me try this again. Let's try this
Graphical differences.
All right, it's
Why
waiting.
does Adam have an old man in the corner of his screen?
Oh boy! Oh, it's the guy from Wreck-It Ralph, right?
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
There you go.
That
He
is
looks
that's
like
Mr. Lipwitz.
It looks a little bit like Dave.
It does look like Dave.
The part's on the wrong side, isn't it?
You know,
Probably.
you could have put up Fat Bastard and said it looks like.
Here we go.
Get ready for a full week of entertainment. First, every Monday, it's the EriDan Film Festival. Join Dan and Eric as they talk movies with an awesome panel of guests from coast to coast. Then, don't miss out on the fun and games every Friday night during the EriDan Social Hour. Finally, be sure to cruise on over to the Clutch Radio Facebook page every Saturday when Dan is joined by car guru Rafi Manassian for a live conversation about the best and worst happening in the automotive industry. That's all coming up this week and every week, because time has no meaning and there's no place to go. It's EriDan Fever. Catch it.
So
That's what we only had 3 shows.
Have you covered the Cybertruck on your best or worst show?
Oh my god, what a piece of shit!
It is a total garbage.
We're talking about you, Eric.
You
I love
could have said that looks like Dave, and I would have been offended. So, you know.
No, I want one for me.
He looks like Jeffrey Dahmer's nephew.
Wow.
He looks like
How
something
much
Jeffrey
did you
Dahmer
pay
might
for
have
that, you
eaten.
think, Eric?
What are you talking about, Uncle Jeffrey for? What was that?
How much,
Reed
how
wants
much was
to know
it?
how much
World
you think
Passport.
you paid for that.
So you're like Uncle Jeffrey.
probably not
Taking
as much
us to
as
these
you
bars,
think.
kid.
Yeah.
That's the worst idea I've ever seen.
It's probably $8.
$500, something like that.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
How much?
Oh, my word.
$500 for an
In
annual
1980,
passport?
in 1983?
And so what was
An
the
annual pass,
passport?
right?
I mean, it got you. It was a year's
Yeah, it's an
entrance
annual
into the
pass.
park.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would bet that was probably $200-300 back then. If
It
that.
is. It is a
Go-
junior.
Go Google
system.
that while we watch this.
That's a cool one. I like that one.
I do
Keep
like
playing it.
a lot, actually.
Why'd you
I
stop?
did say last week that you should not be able to retire from the show until you've done every one of the movies that's in your montage. Garfield and
I'm
And
not
2001.
wrong. All right, I won't retire. We'll keep going.
An annual pass was $125.
Really?
Wow.
we'll
And
be
it had
back
just
next week
gone
with
up.
the-
It went up $25 the year before from the year before.
We'll be back next week with the Eris Scott show.
That was right before I met you, Eric. I met you in August.
I do that.
And the attraction was instantaneous.
You knew he had a pass.
Technically,
I
I
knew
met,
he
Eric,
had a pass.
Yeah.
I met Eric obviously way before that, but we became friends in August of '83.
That is true.
In choir.
It was a magical year.
Andrew had a pass, too.
It was a magical year.
Was.
Magical mystery year.
Actually, the annual pass didn't exist until 1982.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So how'd you get it, Eric?
I don't
No,
know.
no, he got 83.
I don't know.
They are the original.
That was not an annual
Disney
pass. It was a junior world passport.
He had print shop
Fucking
pro
time
and
traveler.
Lamplighter. What do you want?
That's true. Oh, look, I found this. The all cap.
When you put it right in the beginning. Yeah.
And we knew what we were in for, and that was like the intro for like 5 months.
It was.
You couldn't have that because that intro has no buttholes. So
That
Or at
was
least
the,
the butthole
that
cut.
Oh,
that was
I like
the
the
beginning.
show.
That was the beginning of the end when everything jumped the shark.
This is why I don't believe that Tom Hooper is a great director, because he said he wanted to make that movie super realistic and bring realism to the musical. Where are the buttholes, bro?
and there were no litter boxes to be found.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah,
Where's
that
the litter box cat? Gus is the cat in the litter box.
That pass cost you.
That would have been good.
That pass cost your family $93. That's what the junior pass was that year.
That's incredible.
Not ago. You have to sell your soul and take out a fifth mortgage, and
You can't. Yeah, you can't buy lunch for $93.
And you have to like all the movies.
You can have them take it out of your paycheck.
I still have a weak park hopper pass downstairs in the safe that I accidentally bought one too many of about 10 years ago. So
Is it still good?
Yeah, they don't. They didn't expire back then. They do now, but the ones you bought back then never expired.
Oh, so look at that.
Sounds like somebody's going on a trip.
You know, I just had a flashback.
Cinemaniacs is over. Where are you going now, Dave?
I'm going to turn off my camera.
I just had a flashback to a dream I
I
had
was
the
in
other night.
Disneyland the whole time.
I was at LAX. I walked out the wrong door, and all of a sudden I was in Disneyland, arguing with a woman who was defending how great Disneyland was, and I pulled the Eric line. I said, "You know, in the parking lot of Disney World, you could fit all of Disneyland."
Oh yeah,
That's right.
Wow.
And then I had to figure out how to get back to LAX. I'm like, wait, how did I get all the way? I turned around, I couldn't get back in, and so I had to get a $78 Uber. I remember the number for some reason.
That's funny.
Good.
Never been to Disney World, and I'm happy.
I will say that I don't know how much it is. It's probably astronomical, but that new Universal park looks really cool.
Epic Universe.
Yes, yeah, that looks really cool.
Soon.
That it looks like it's probably $500 to get in.
Is that in Orlando or LA?
I don't know.
They brought back the word epic, guys. From Universal Studios.
Is Layden Sadecki
pretty
still
awesome.
working down there?
Layden Sadecki, look at that.
Because when we went down last time we went down, he was working at Universal, and he gave us sort of not really a VIP tour, but he showed us around and told us which seats were the best seats in certain rides, and took us on some stuff. It was pretty cool.
He was working at I knew him as Larry. He was
Larry back in the day.
He was working in the improv group at Downtown Disney. And when I saw the last name, I was like, that can't be the same guy. And I didn't actually see him.
Wow.
And then a guy I knew here on the island, Mark Nichols, who worked there and helped build all of Downtown Disney, he's like, oh, yeah, I knew this guy did improv, Layden Sadecki. I go, was his name? Did he go by Larry? Was he from Beaver Falls? He goes, yeah. I go, he went to high school with my sister.
This name drop is sponsored in part by Aglets. Oh, yeah, baby. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got in touch with him. We got in touch with him before he went down. He was real nice to us.
It's funny because this is actually Mark Nichols' desk.
Wow.
Oh, that's right. You got Mark Nichols' desk.
Oh, it's desk. I didn't hear you. What you said there, Scott.
It's the Harry Potter desk, and I'm wearing pants. I promise.
I was gonna say everything was blurred out when you were looking down, so I was a little concerned.
Why do you have a blurry crotch, Scott?
That's not his wand.
That's my Harry Valentine.
Wow.
Well, we will definitely have to do a game night.
Yes.
I thought you were about to say we're definitely going to end on that note.
And if you want, on June 8th, the anniversary of the first movie show, we can do a live stream of Cats. Or a live stream of UHF, our first movie. We can all gather on June 8th.
A live stream of Battlefield Earth, yes.
I feel like you have to have like the worst wheel, like actually have a name of like all the bad movies we wanted to watch, and then just spin it and see what it lands.
Yes, bad movie, like stream. That'd be great.
Eric's like, no, well, we're not doing that.
We can watch Plan 9 from Outer Space, or
I'm sure Cats.
I'm sure Snow White.
We never watched Tremors.
Oh my gosh, we never watched Amelia Perez.
Oh.
Gosh, we never watched thousands of movies.
We're going to gradually become more and more like The Voice, where everybody has one veto. So Eric gets Sgt. Pepper, and Scott goes, I'm going to use my veto.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
my Frasier blackball.
Crazy.
So, Dan, don't forget to ask your sister.
I will.
So definitely don't leave the Facebook feed if you're on the Facebook feed. Don't leave that chat. We want to stay in contact, and we will have some events, some live streamed, some not live streamed.
Some new merch.
Yeah, is the shop open or closed?
The shop's still
there
open.
Might be new merch. You know, it'll be vintage now.
Yeah, I still have to get a weight as my daddy's sweater.
I think that's still up. I don't think that ever got pulled down, did it?
EriDan shop?
Limited edition.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's
You
definitely
just
still
go there like once a day just to check and see if there's any sales going on. Yes, the Wade My Daddy stuff is still available.
Of all the stupid shit I've said, that's what you choose to put on a shirt.
Oh, that's good.
Gotta be careful what you say.
Come on.
There it is.
Oh, Reagan needs one.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. There's like cups, aprons. Unbelievable how much stuff you can get. Look at all that.
Apron for working in the
old
There's
logos.
the Tree of My Soul, the all-time classic.
Oh yeah, the Tree of My Soul is
Hey,
absolutely
Sassy Gerbil.
Oh, Sassy Gerbil.
Aglet.
Aglets was before me, and so was Slaughterhouse. But the Sassy Gerbil and Tree of My Soul, I was there.
You lived it.
I lived it
You did.
with Denise.
With
How's
Denise.
Denise doing?
Poor Denise.
Have you heard anything from her in recent years?
I have. She's doing very well.
Awesome.
Much better than all of you people. I'm kidding.
I miss seeing her.
That's good.
Yes. No, I have seen her. She is still alive. We did talk just a couple of weeks ago. I did text her and let her know that this was the final show. She had
Is that
said
why
the
it's
only
20% off
reason
everything for the final show?
She had never seen Mr. Saturday Night, and the only Marvel movie she had ever seen was Iron Man when she watched it for this show.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she's not a big movie person. She hung in there.
Yeah.
She was more for the games.
Yeah.
Love the game. Yes, she did.
Let me see the
And until
apron with
Amanda
that.
joined, we had Stacy sometimes. Occasionally we had, I'm forgetting her name. Michelle, yes. But she lent a nice female presence until Amanda joined because we didn't have much.
Yes, it is true.
Stacy was holding it down with Reagan for a while, but yeah. How's Reagan doing?
Brittany. What?
How's Reagan doing?
She's good. She sent me a bunch of pictures. I was trying to get her to at least hop on for a second, but she was working, and it's a different time zone there. So it's like the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah, we started at 3:00 her time.
Yeah. So but she
Yeah.
sent a few pictures of like.
I always liked when she wouldn't join. It would just be you or you and Wade.
She'd be sitting beside you.
shadow.
Yeah.
What was the movie where she's like, I'm done?
I don't know.
Oh, wow.
It just
This is Sleeping Giant.
Oh.
And it's down the road from where she lives now.
Oh wow.
Oh my gosh, it looks just like Dan.
Yeah.
I know.
Looks a lot like Jen.
I can see me in there.
Like that. There we
you
go. That's Sleeping Giant. It's down the road from her house. She just moved for the second time, third place. She just moved from a place. She had moved in December, and she went in sight unseen.
That can be
Mother's worst nightmare. Her friend said, I'm moving out of my mom's house, and you can probably rent my room. So she and her friend were like, yeah, we'll do that. It was his mother's laundry room with no bathroom. It was because they had to go into the house to use the bathroom and the
There's
kitchen.
a washing machine.
But yeah, there was a washing machine, but she didn't have a refrigerator. I said, you need a little refrigerator. She said, we have one. The electricity isn't really working well. So yeah, they were there until last week. They moved a week ago into a much nicer spot.
Good.
Oi.
Oi.
Well, you know what? I don't even know, but it got a little weird and dicey. She knew she was going to be out by April, so she had a plan, but they just didn't know where that was going to be. But they found a place. A lady she works with had a spot, so she and Esther they have a little space and bunk beds now. They had to share a bed at the last place. They're like, oh my gosh. So they were lucky they had a roof. And then she bought a car. So she was actually going to start sleeping in her car to get away from this landlady. But luckily she didn't have to do that. So.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
Good. I'm glad it worked out.
I'm happy for you, Stacy.
Well, you know what? She's safe. I know she's safe. I just don't want to have to tell my mother anything. Because that's
Stacy, you can tell her that I went from sleeping in the car to directing a sitcom in 5 years. So there you go.
You went from sleeping in a car to working with Dan.
Yes.
Yeah, you went backwards, Scott.
Why do you think I lowballed you? I didn't know my worth.
Man's like, man, I miss that car.
I had a heater.
It's a beater with a heater.
Dan just gave me like this tricycle with one wheel missing.
That's called a bicycle.
Wow.
This is her backyard.
Wow.
Well, sort of. Out her back window.
Oh my god.
I think I might have some more. But she's doing okay. She's coming home in May and for a few days. They've got they have weddings and stuff to go to, she and her friend, and I don't know what their whole plan is. So she's going to miss her sister by like 2 weeks because Emma's coming home in 2 weeks and staying for 2 weeks. So both of our girls are far, far away and we can't get to visit them.
Where's Emma?
She's in Colorado in Steamboat Springs.
That's right. I remember
Yeah. She at least started skiing this year. She's pretty good at it. So
cool.
Nice.
We had Jen on the other side of the world for multiple years. So yeah, I feel you.
Stop doing that. That's all I have to tell the children. Stop
If it gives you any hope, Stacy, after spending 3 years in Japan and then some time in France, she's now in Crafton.
Well, I have a feeling that neither one of them, maybe Emma. I think Emma will end up back home in some area around here, but they don't want to be in this area at this point in their life. Reagan couldn't wait to get out of Beaver County. Emma just left. She didn't even tell me she was wanted out. So
wow.
She's like, oh, I'm moving to Colorado. See ya.
They got weed.
So, that's probably the reason.
You try to raise your kids to be independent. You can't regret it when they are.
Yeah.
That's true.
You told me to give 100%, Mom. I gave 420%. You can't deny me.
Wow. I didn't raise them to be that independent. Wade did.
Wow.
That's why he's in the corner right now, and you're in the front.
He's just tired. He got up at 3:00 this morning to go work.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh wow.
That's crazy.
And what town are you guys in?
What time or what?
No, what town are you in? Or is it on?
Oh, we're in Harrisburg right now.
Oh, okay.
The capital, yes.
Yeah, we're in the capital. Yeah, so I'm at a community college conference. So
For Kakabaka.
Kakabaka.
Yeah, I've been up since 6, and I've been traveling all day too. So
I think it might be nighttime for everybody.
And I've
I'm
barely
all
left my
right.
house for 2 weeks.
I'm all
right
right.
here.
Oh, it's beautiful. Dan, let's get a drink.
Yeah, I know this. The time zone thing is the time
Yeah,
zone.
it
Thing
doesn't work out too well.
The time zone thing is just messing me up.
I bet. Yeah, that's what the girls have trouble with that when they've been home.
Yeah, because I'm, go back home Friday for a week and then leave again and have to get used to it.
This takes you back to when we
keep watching different people yawning. On this
we would routinely. Remember, we used to routinely go past 9:30.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, this is a late one for us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
For the finale, it's fair. Yeah.
Walk down memory lane.
I haven't decided yet what airport I hate most, SeaTac or Atlanta. I'm
Atlanta.
kind of
Atlanta's
for sure.
horrid.
Although
Yeah.
Adam, I found a secret to Atlanta. You ready?
What's
if you
that?
ever go back, go in and out of the international side.
Really?
It's all connected.
Oh.
And like Alaska always lands like in E gates, which is almost at the end.
Yes.
Go out the international side. You can grab an Uber there and just go.
Yeah, I flew out this afternoon ish, and I had pre-check, and it took 30 minutes to get through pre-check.
I haven't flown since pre-COVID.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, for more travel tips, turn into Dan's. No, I'm kidding.
But hey, the flight was only 50 minutes long, so basically we took off and then landed, and that was it.
Any catapults near you, Dave?
Well, now I have to warn the TSA every time I go through security because I have metal in my knee.
Oh.
Yeah, I have to go here at the end of the month. I'm going here to LA to DC, grabbing Josh, helping him move, and then DC back. Wow. So I have a triangle I'm doing instead of a.
That's a lot of traveling.
Dave, if I get in a fight in Pittsburgh, I'm calling you.
You're a smart man.
Yeah, work at the airport.
Wade works at the Pittsburgh airport.
You do?
For Legion Airlines right now.
Wow.
I could actually maybe get a job with Alaska too, but because they only do a few flights a week, so.
Yeah, Alaska was doing 2 a day for a while.
Yeah. I think they just do one to Seattle every day.
Yeah. They did
I had to take Delta for the first time today. It's not bad.
I like Delta.
Yeah, Delta's not bad.
My sister works for them.
I think the Delta planes are nicer than the Alaska planes.
I had a nasty time with Delta at my brother's wedding.
He's a blur. Look at him.
Oh, sorry.
Scott's identity is being blurred for his own protection.
Your arm was in there. It was funny.
Nobody wants to see this. Yeah. No, we got on the plane. We were told there was a screw loose on the side of our plane, and we literally sat in our chairs for 3 hours.
No.
Oh my!
See, I wouldn't care if I had a book. I'd be all right.
No, I sat next to the one guy who just had McDonald's before he got on the plane. So his stomach was fantastic to sit next to.
A triple order of onion rings, please.
I heard noises I didn't know were possible. And I definitely had it in my head when I was watching The Substance. So that was nice.
My thing with I know a lot of airports have it, but it just baffles me. As big as Atlanta and Seattle are, they don't have, and I know it's a minor gripe because, whatever, but they don't have like the moving ramp things or whatever. Like they don't have them there. And those are huge airports. So when I landed in Atlanta, like Dan was saying, I landed all the way at the end of, I think, E-Gate, and I had to walk all the way to baggage claim. Well,
you can take the train.
Yeah, but still.
And they've got the walkways underneath. They have They have those. If you go in between the train tracks, they have them. Same at SeaTac has it through the A gates.
That's the third rail. Just go to the third. No, I'm kidding. No,
The A gates have them.
Yeah, the first flight I ever took, I ended up in Chicago for like a layover of it was like 20 minutes, and I had to walk all the way across. Like Chicago was huge to me.
Oh, yeah, Chicago's a huge.
Yeah, all the way.
But Atlanta's actually
to the other. It was
the world.
Yeah.
It was crazy, and I had to make it in 20 minutes. I was running a little bit.
They always schedule it that way. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time, I've had a connection that was literally I walked out and got right in the next gate.
I was supposed to do that in Cincinnati, coming back from Spokane, Salt Lake City, wherever I was, and then I got off, and then I looked at the gate, and it said it's been moved. I had to get on a bus.
Yep.
I was so mad.
Yeah, I don't
so mad.
Yeah, my new rule is if there's a connection, I'm not going.
Well, that's why I did what I did, because I flew from Seattle to Atlanta through Alaska. Alaska
Not the state, the airline.
Yeah, Alaska doesn't have a flight from Atlanta to West Virginia, where I'm at now. So what I did was I took Delta from Atlanta to Cincinnati, got the rental car, drove over to West Virginia. Then Friday, I'm going to drive back to Cincinnati, take Alaska back to Seattle.
My gosh.
Well, it's direct flights. That's the only way you can get a direct
You
flight.
could drive up to Pittsburgh's closer than Cincinnati, isn't it?
Well, where are you at in West Virginia?
Yeah.
Charleston.
Oh, you're way
closer to Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm in Charleston.
Yeah, it's way down there. That's where my dad was born.
Yeah.
Eric's not yawning, but he is leaning on his hand.
My car's
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Wade's car has been in Clarksburg for a month.
Well, take the last train to Clarksburg.
I was just going to do that, Dan.
There you go.
There.
Yeah, Scott.
I saw what you did.
Scott and I took a train to Portland.
Yeah.
And
well, we tried to catch it at 8:50. We caught it at 9:50 instead.
it was an hour late, and so I had a deck of cards with me. These aren't them. And we did the questions. Do you ever do that where you say if it's an 8 or higher to yes, if it's a 7 or lower to no? And what were the two questions I asked, Scott?
Yes. Are we going to get there on time?
Yep. And it was an 8, which means barely.
Mm-hmm. And then I asked if we were going to win something.
And it was a queen.
No, it was an ace.
Oh, it was an ace.
Ace of hearts.
Yeah, and then we won.
Well, at least y'all made the train, because I think maybe the week after they pulled them all off the line.
Just don't do a magic trick, Dan.
Yeah, they pulled all the ones that run up that way. They pulled off the line because they had to replace the cars because the cars were, I don't know, whatever.
Really?
Yeah, Amtrak up there was out of commission for a while.
Wow, we just made it then.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah.
And they didn't tell us what was wrong.
trains are always late.
Are we being played off?
Where's...
Are we watching Spice World now?
Oh, I wish.
I'm doing the Trump dance.
man,
That would be a wonderful watch party.
Get being played off. Oh, the EriDan.
That's the Trump dance.
Too fast.
You're doing the Trump dance.
That's what I was doing. I said that.
He's a little slower.
Yeah, he's two guys next to him. All right, well.
Man, it's like I
It's
did
been
not
real.
support this.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. More to come.
I don't either.
Eventually, someday, in some various form of something or other.
Someday.
Send your ideas and comments and hate mail to Dan Rosenberg.
You'll be someday, and that day may never come.
That's right.
And
whoa!
Oh,
wow! That just got rid of Scott. Okay.
Oh my God.
Geez, Scott.
All right. He's like, all right, I'm not getting a check. I'm out of here.
Oh, wait. All right, he's back.
Wow. What was that?
Interesting.
I guess my computer decided to do a Sopranos ending on my part. I don't know.
Don't stop believing.
Oh, jeez. Unbelievable. Hey, look, it's Dan Rosenberg. So glad you can join us, Dan.
Dan Rosenberg?
Where am I?
I don't know. Do you have a thing? You have a thing. You used to have a thing.
Oh, yeah. Do I have a thing?
Yeah, you used to have a thing. Oh, there it is.
You tell me you from the time machine,
Did
Oh,
you ever
yeah.
is there an Eric one?
No. Because I was never late.
Wow.
Man.
And the crowd goes wild.
Oh yeah, the
Bridge.
Timers Club.
That's when you got your own opening.
That's right,
After you've been on 5 times. Here's our Denise. Cha cha
She
cha.
had
Play
the
the
best
Wade one.
one.
Play-
Which one?
The
Oh.
donkey.
Well,
Wow. Let's do that again.
All right, I'd like to hear the story about that one more time, Wade. Can you remind
I
us
learned my lesson.
about the story?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So coming home from the carnival, I looked down at I think I went down to tune the radio and I hit something. And I get out of the car, pull over. I thought it was a kid because I didn't see anything. I get out, and I turn around, look back, and there's a donkey laying flat out on the road.
Oh, jeez.
I had traffic backed the whole. And, everybody's leaving the carnival, and the cops wouldn't let anybody through. And then they were like, "I go, do you want me to help you with the donkey?" The cop, and he's like, "Well, we got to make sure it's dead first."
They had to pronounce it.
Wow.
So I went over. It was cold, man. By this point,
My friend Christina Livingood, who graduated with me, her dad was a few cars behind, and he went over because he's nebby, and he's like, "What's the holdup?" And they said, "We need somebody to pronounce it." So he pronounced it.
Wow. He's like,
Yeah.
that donkey is not living good.
no,
That's right.
and that's when RFK Jr. came along and said, "You gonna eat that?"
No, he said, "Are you gonna eat that?" Sorry.
and it was like a brand new work van too.
Yeah, and they had just had it wrapped with Sheetz car wash.
Yeah, hit it with the front headlight and it spun around and hit my rear tail light. Took it out.
Oh.
So he called work and he said, "If you need to fire me, I understand." And they said, "That's okay. Charlie Sheetz did the same thing.
They said he hit a horse.
He hit a
Charlie
horse."
Sheets, Charlie Sheen, they all do it.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
So I'm like, oh, I'm on the road to be VP here.
yeah. That
All
didn't
right.
happen.
I don't know what this is.
That was an idea that never happened.
Wow, I was gonna say I never saw that.
Yeah, no. There,
All right.
there were behind the scenes thing that happened that never.
Well, Charles, you can't say theme movie without saying like you're just saying the movie.
Yeah, it was an idea that never worked out.
It's like saying Black Cock without saying Black Hawk.
Exactly.
Well, that
we
was
knew what we were talking about.
that was the joke in the episode. Oh wow, look at that.
That was the van.
That was the van.
In the episode, the reunion episode, where I ordered the banner for the Blackhawk High School. for the Blackhawk High School graduates. And it said, welcome Blackcock graduates. And they spelled graduates wrong. And Eric goes, wow, they spelled graduates wrong. Like, didn't even acknowledge it. Because what happened in real life was Lisa Riggio, who had a charity golf event the same weekend as our reunion. She must have done voice to text and did a text saying, I hope everybody can join us at the Blackhawk Golf Course. And it said the Black Cock Golf Course. And I said, well, that'll sell a lot of tickets. She's like, I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't do that on purpose.
Also, remember the time that Stacy got up and left just the couch on the screen, and you took a screen grab and made it your background?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Where's Rick in the bathtub?
Classic.
No. Oh, it's not on here. What happened to it?
No,
oh, wait, here it is. There we go.
Who needs a plane?
Yeah.
And then here I am at the corporate headquarters.
Mm-hmm. What do I have?
Here I am as Scott. I can't blur myself.
You have to go back really far.
There.
You have to have almost no personality whatsoever, and it'll just cover you up.
Yeah, I'll be Adam.
It's true. I was a stripper in another life.
Oh gosh.
I like how Scott kept requesting you play that.
Remember this one, everybody?
That was really dramatic.
I like that.
So
They
official.
could use a little editing.
I thought it was going to be a toilet.
A little long. Is this the one with the bathtub?
This reference to Rick Springfield was brought to you in part by the all-new 2022 EriDan. For style that can't be changed.
No, it's a random pic of Rick in the bathtub that Eric just kept flashing us with.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think that's still up here anymore. So.
Then there's this.
Hello there, Dan. J. Peterman here. Well,
Where's Leah Thompson?
Yeah.
Where's what?
Leah Thompson.
I don't know what you ever did with that. You took it down.
No, it
Yeah,
should be on
it's
here.
not up here.
Oh, you know what? It's on my other computer.
Mister, I have two computers. Ooh.
Well, I'm at my office. I'm not at my house.
Dad, you just don't have it.
Scott, you just don't get it, do you?
$1 million.
Crazy.
Now I know how it feels to be on the East Coast for you guys.
Yeah, it's late.
Painful.
Yeah. 10:30 here.
We're close to 10:30
Sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be Buddy Young. Now I'm Buddy middle-aged.
Well, it's like when they did Carriata on Saturday. It wasn't on here till 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it's an afternoon show for us.
Yeah. So it
Speaking
felt
of
weird.
which, will there be a Carriata on Saturday?
As of now, yes, we have every intention. We never don't have an intention usually. It'll be I have something to do or Rafi has something to do, and once we tell Ray, Scott, and Jake that we're not doing it, then we're okay. Actually, we have more than the three of them.
Of course.
Once in a while, I catch it.
Yeah, it gets a lot of views afterwards, which is kind of wild.
I'd start a podcast. No one watch it.
I like Saturday's show. We don't usually tend to get very political on this show, and in an hour.
All we did. Well,
an hour political talk.
It was all about the tariffs and how stupid it all is, and how everybody's going to spend more money on everything, but cars especially. It's really hurting cars.
Well, Dan, he only just announced that we're getting an additional 50% on Chinese goods, so relax.
You don't drive any Chinese cars, do you, Dan?
No, I don't anymore. I drive a German
market. Took it in the shorts again today.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So
actually, the Nasdaq was up tiny bit, but it was basically down.
John Kennedy, the senator from
Louisiana,
your home state.
That was Boston.
He actually that's
Different one.
That's Jack Kennedy. This was that's Mitch McConnell. I did the wrong guy. He said that it's actually kind of funny.
Was that a double?
He said God created everything. Everything else, God created the world. Everything else was made in China. Which is kind of he actually cracked up the CNN host, which I thought was funny. Politicians are almost always really funny in real life when they stop trying to be political.
Yes, they're the reason why Budweiser is such a thing, because everyone wants to have a beer with them.
Most of them. All right, now we went political.
I was going to say, now what's happening?
It's 7:31. It's 7:31 on the West Coast, 10:31 on the East. I think it's time to say goodbye. Did you make
Let's
a
go
final?
Eric in the traffic copter.
No, I was looking for Rick Springfield in the bath.
Traffic sucks.
It had to be under Cinemaniacs.
Make an EriDan version of Clue. Rick Springfield in the bath with a rubber duck.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Aglets as a murder weapon.
That's funny.
Rick Springfield in the bathtub with the aglet.
75 now, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
He's 75, right?
75.
Crazy.
We're shrinking. Lost Scott.
Oh, let me in.
Oh, did he do it again?
Apparently. I don't.
Oh, there he is.
Let me in.
No, I'm here.
Is this a cry for attention, Scott? Is that what you want?
You know what? I know I'm alive. It's okay. Is this a mention of the sitcom?
That's all I got. That's not it, though. It was somewhere else. I have no idea.
It's all right.
I'll share it if I find it.
Hey, Eric, do you have the picture from your son's graduation party of a bunch of us? Like Dave was there. Amanda was there.
Maybe.
Eric can barely keep his eyes open at this point. So
I think my lights are making my eyes water. I have no idea what's happening. I'm just so emotional tonight.
it's looking at us for so long is what making your eyes water.
My lights are very bright. Yeah, I'm sure I have that. I will share that as well.
Hey.
Okay.
So is that is he a natural 75, or is that had some work done 75?
I think maybe some fillers, but he eats well and
some ounce of green
tea. He looks every bit of 75 to me.
Really? Let me show you a 75-year-old. Hold on a second.
He's going to show Billy Crystal now, isn't he?
He's a different 75 than my dad was, but my dad was injured, so it's different. But yeah, he's 75. As a girl, he's 75.
Well, he's not a girl.
No, me as a girl who my classmates all were like, "Oh, Rick Springfield." Yeah, he's 75 and every bit of it.
What's happening?
Like that's a 75-year-old man.
Yeah, he looks just like that.
Really?
Let me put it this way: Meryl Streep is 75,
and they were in a movie together.
Yeah,
She looks
Billy
about
Joel is
70.
75. So is Bruce Springsteen.
It's like people can look different at the same age.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
what a concept.
They all look their age.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
I mean, he still pretty much looks the same. He looks a little weathered. I mean, other than
Yeah,
that.
like he hasn't become a new person, but he does look like he's older.
Maybe that's it. It's not whether you look a certain age, it's if you look older. And if you look older than me, that means that you're old as F.
I like. Oh, you missed it. The picture, the image detail. It said toothy elderly man, toothy smile elderly man, 75-year-old. The end of description.
Sits outdoors in front of his house.
Toothy. He's toothy.
What makes him really look his age is the tan jacket.
Well, I thought he was hoopy, and he
sits on bench.
That looks very AI generated, that first pic, because every single one of his teeth are the same size.
We got veneers.
Well, yeah, or false teeth. Yeah, they're all the same.
Old man.
Yeah, that's
sits
a
on
plate.
bench.
How do you guys know what those are?
We're old.
Ah, there we go, Stacy.
I know. I'm not 75. My dad's just turned 80, so we're good. I'm not there yet.
My grandmother just turned 90 years old. She doesn't believe me.
She doesn't believe you.
That she's 90 or that you're her grandson?
Both.
Wow.
Because you're too old to be her grandson.
From a cop.
I'm too fat to be her grandson. That's the thing.
The best response I ever read was from a cop who pulled over a woman for speeding, and she rolls down the window and goes, "Do you know who my father is?" And he goes, "Why? Didn't your mom tell you?"
Nice.
Do you know who I am? Why are you?
That's awesome. I remember that one. I'm gonna get arrested after that.
Oh, here's Scott wants to show us something that's 75 years old.
Wait, what?
It's whiskey.
Oh. I thought it was gonna be Carl from Up.
That's like a chocolate kiss, doesn't it?
They look 75 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's
We
an
finally
amazing
ran out of
world.
things to say.
That's it. That's
25
how we end.
minutes ago. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
They always say you should end in the middle.
It's about time for Scott to drop accidentally anyway. So.
Oh, that's true. He usually does right about. I'm kidding.
I just realized.
Stop.
There we go.
Oh, look at us.
Here you are.
Aw.
Oh, look at that. Everybody's having so much fun.
Wow.
Wow.
There.
Where is that?
You know what this looks like is a TV show where there's a murder about to take place because someone has sawed through the railing.
That was Eric's son's graduation party. That was up in
The farm.
at
The horse farm. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, that was the Blue Ribbon Farm.
It was a lovely part.
Do I have any fun
Yes,
pictures to
we
show?
got the right video. Yeah.
They had a mascot turkey too, walked around.
So awesome.
Cool.
All right, on that note, I think it is time
It's time.
for
We're
everybody
calling
to go to
it.
bed and get
I
some
think
rest.
you may have said, there may have been game nights we went longer than this, but not by much.
Oh, Eric, you put the opening theme and the closing theme.
I don't know. Do what you want to do.
No, I'm just saying you put it on the closing
Be a
theme.
man.
Wow.
Where we're going, we don't need themes.
He's tired. He's tired. Go.
No, I don't. I didn't do anything. There's no outro video on this thing.
The theme is whatever you make it, so make it a good one, Dan.
All right, hold on. Let me find one.
All right, do something. Do something creative.
Do something.
Do something.
Anything.
Goodness.
Just don't.
You did something.
All right.
Something happened. Are we done?
Scott
Are we
really
done?
loves.
Are we done?
Yep.
Cool. Yep. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Wait. Hold on. Let's get Scott back. All right, here we go.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.